Classic was returning, so we know that this was coming, but this is the first week that we're actually getting a chance to see it. The teams have been, or not all the teams, but some teams have been announced. We know that Bron and Baron Corbin are going to be teaming up. In fact, I've got it in the description. If I jump in the description, I've got the lineup. So Gallus are taking on Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin. Hank and Tank are taking on Axiom and Nathan Frazer. OTM are taking on Tony D'Angelo and Stax. So a lot of tag matches tonight. And to be honest, because of the Tony drama, which I'm sure we're going to get into. But because of that, I haven't had a chance to see what the latest announcements have been. So, oh, hello. So, looks like we're getting Gigi and Cora Jade. Gigi and Cora Jade, they've been added as well. Blair Davenport taking on Nikita Lyons. So, they've been added also. And then the rest of them look like the tag matches, the Dusty Classics. So, yeah, not the most stacked show tonight. But to be honest, an interesting show, because this is the sort of show where we do a bit of building. This is the sort of show where we put a few things in place that then obviously go on to develop into bigger things. So we're going to get through some first round matches. We're going to, I'm sure, have some new feuds start in them. I'm sure there'll be plenty for us to get our teeth into. But that is not what the wrestling world is talking about right now. The wrestling world is talking about Jinder Mahal and about Tony Khan. We did a video on it because I could sense that it was growing and it was building, and it certainly grabbed my attention. I didn't realize that it was going to get as big as what it's got. I mean, on the actual trends, not the for you trends, you know, the ones that are like tailored for you, but the actual trends, the ones that are actually trending. Like Jinder Mahal is trending right now. So if I show you this in the UK, these are the UK trends, right? Number one is Poch for Pochettino. He's the manager of Chelsea. Matt Pat, who I've got no idea what that was until I clicked on it. And it's some YouTuber that's retiring or something, right? And then number three is Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal is number 3 in the UK trends. We can have a look and see. Let's change it. Let's go. Let's have a look in Afghanistan. Is Jinder Mahal trending in Afghanistan? Hook is. Oh, Tony is. Oh my God. Tony. That's got to be Tony Khan. Just above Hook in 16th place. R-Truth is trending. Seth is trending. Mommy is trending. Doesn't look like Jinder's trending. This is the Afghanistan trends. Let's go. Let's go. Who knew? Who knew? Apparently there's been UFO sightings as well. Oh, there he is. Wow. Number 14 in Afghanistan. Right now, Jinder Mahal. Just above Tony. Just above Hook. Amazing. Where else shall we go? Let's have a look. We've got, let's just go, stop it there. Syria, that's fine. Let's have a look in, oh, is that all that's trending? Is that literally all they're talking about? They only have 5 trends. They've only got 5 trends. I mean, to be honest, Syria is, do you know what I mean? Of all the places to go, that was a long shot. That is Uganda. Okay, let's have a look in Uganda. Poch, Enzo, Palmer. Lots of football. Arsenal, Kuwait. No, doesn't look like Uganda care about the real stories that are going on right now. Panama, let's go to Panama. Are they talking about it? God, Golden Globes. That was the other day, wasn't it? They're still talking about that. You would have thought they'd have moved on. Selena, no, even they're not talking about it. God, come on, Panama. Stupid. One more. Oh, God, Syria again. Bosnia and Herzegovina. They're talking about Europe. They're talking about TikTok. They're talking about Gaza. They're talking about Tony and Jinder. Yeah. Tony, Hook, Jinder. These are the trends in Bosnia and Herzegovina, or whatever it's called. Herzegovina. Let's go. So, literally, the world is talking about this. Let's go to the United States. Because we looked at the UK. Oh, there we go. Zimbabwe, United. Look at that. Oh, right next to each other. Oh. Best of friends, aren't we? So, people really care about this Matt Pack person. Jinder is number 3 in the US at the moment. And is Tony on here at all? Bischoff is trending. Eric Bischoff with the USA Network, he's trending. So, yeah, people are talking about it on the actual trends. The actual trends. People are talking about it. So, yeah, I didn't know it was going to blow up as big as what it's blown up, where it's actually got onto the actual trends. But I think there's a lot of opinion on it, and Gerald sums it up by saying, "Don't hinder the Jinder." JMB has said, "I hope Jinder gets the biggest pop." I put this on Twitter. So, Tony Khan Twitter meltdown, fires at Jinder, calls out perceived double standards, responds to USA Network. And I put, Aaron said, "I've never seen so many Jinder Mahal fans." This is the most over he's been in his career. Thank you, Tony Khan. You just made Jinder Mahal versus Seth Rollins the most anticipated match of 2024. That is true, man. He did. People are like, Jinder weren't trending until all this happened, and now he's trending in Bosnia. The people of Bosnia are talking about Jinder Mahal. So, I tell you what, Tony's done Jinder a solid there. He's done him a solid. Can you imagine how Tony's reaction will be if Jinder wins? If Jinder wins, Tony will faint. He'll collapse. He won't be able to get his breath. He'll fear for his life. God damn it. If Jinder picks up the victory, just nothing will make any sense to him, will it? He won't be able to wrap his head around it. So yeah, man, so much to get our teeth into. I feel like, though, I don't really know what more I can bring to the table other than what I said in that video. I feel like everything I want to say is in the video that I did. Obviously, there's been some follow-up. We can talk about that. So Jinder did respond. Jinder came back and said, here we go. So Jinder came back with this. Who the is Hook? Watch Monday Night Raw. I love this bit. Watch Monday Night Raw on USA Network. I really love that bit because that's what Tony does. Tony always tends to put, like, you know, watch Dynamite, blah, 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 blah. Well, here's Jinder saying, who the is Hook? Watch Monday Night Raw on USA Network, Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Right? I mean, amazing. I'm not too keen on this bit, to be honest, because I feel a bit sorry for Hook. But, you know, Jinder's getting dragged into something here. I think Hook is well within his right to come back with something now. Well within his right. So I've got no problem if Hook now wants... This is just open season, innit? Taz did come out with something, which I didn't get, to be honest. So, here, look, an hour ago... So, who the is Hook? And then Taz just responded, Hook, which I didn't really get. I didn't really, as like comebacks come, I was a bit like, don't really get that. I'm not really keen on that. The one that got me, though, was this from Dustin Rhodes. Guys, just enjoy wrestling. We do it for you. Lighten up on the tribalism. Guys, why? Do you know what? You fans. You blooming fans, you ruin everything, don't you? Eh? Why have you got to be so tribal? Eh? Why have you got to be so tribal? He's right. Dustin Rhodes is right. It's the fans' fault. That's whose fault this is. Yeah? Forget the fact that USA put that tweet out and that Tony Khan went mental on Twitter, right? It's you lot. You're too tribal. You're too tribal. Why can't you follow the great examples being set by the people in charge of these companies, right? You don't see tribalism there, do you? Eh? It's us. It's the fans. We're the problem, clearly. I just don't get this mentality. This is the same thing that Edge did, you know? This is what Edge did. Do you remember when Edge first joined AEW? And he was like, guys, what? There's no war. There's no... I mean, there's literally, like, tanks rolling behind him and, like, shells going over his head, right? You've got Tony Khan putting camo in the background, loaded up. He's got a bazooka on his shoulder, right? You got Mega coming over with, like, jets. And you've got Edge sitting there going, guys, there's no war. What are you on about? Why have you got to be so tribal? There's no war. It's like, dude, look around. Look around. You're literally in the Somme. You're in the trenches, right? There's military maneuvers going on all around you, right? You are very much in a war. I appreciate the fact that he tried to downplay it. I appreciate the fact he was trying to get everyone to, like, lower the temperature. But as I said at the time, and I feel the same way about this Dustin Rhodes comment, I sort of feel like you can acknowledge that things are happening, right? You can acknowledge that there is a conflict and there is a war and there are things like this. And you can then try to go from there to lower the temperature. But lighten up on the tribalism after Tony Khan just went mental on Twitter is pretty wild to me. This whole thing's pretty wild. It's endlessly entertaining, isn't it? I think I feel the same way many of you feel. Like it's like watching a car crash. It's like, you know, it's very difficult if you drive past like a car accident to not have a little, you know what I mean? What's going on over there? You can't, like, who just drives past any sort of car accident and is just like looking forward? Everyone has a little like that, and that's exactly what's going on here. There's like a whole car crash thing that's going on, and you've just got to look, ain't you, really? I think we showed the Eric Bischoff response. And here you can see No DQ said, are you team Eric Bischoff or team Tony Khan? Shouldn't that just be team Bischoff, team Khan? Why do we need their first names? Or it could be team Eric and team Tony. That works just as well. So Eric Bischoff just with a very simple like this, just a clown. I was reading the comment below, actually. Mikey said, Tony forgets he literally gave Abaddon a title shot after being off AEW TV for over a year. It's the same exact situation as Jinder. Eric Bischoff replied saying, Tony, is this true or is this a bot? Oh man, it is cooking, innit? It is cooking at the moment. There's just bombs being dropped everywhere right now. I mean, there's a few ways you can look at it. There's a few ways that you can look at it. You can look at it as like, is this clever from Tony? Because, and I don't think it is, by the way, but is it clever because he has now got everyone talking about, he's trending, AEW are trending. They say there's no such thing as bad press. So, you know, if you're being spoken about, if you're trending, that's better than not trending. You know, I said this when Tony did this the last time. Do you remember he went off on that Tuesday when it was AEW and Dynamite, and all of a sudden he just started firing shots and going off? I think he was upset at how stacked NXT was, and so he started firing off on social media. And I remember saying, like, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here because he's creating a lot of noise. AEW have moved nights, and he's creating a lot of noise. And if nothing else, definitely people are now going to know that AEW is on tonight that maybe didn't. Even if it's just one person, right? More people will know AEW is on tonight than they knew before Tony went mental on social media. So I gave him a little bit of credit slack, if you will. Problem was, as soon as the shows were done, like the next day when ratings were coming out, he just kept going, right? He just kept going, and there wasn't really any benefit to keeping going from that point. At that point, it was just petty, right? At least doing it on the day before the shows, I could see there being a business benefit. It's hard to see the business benefit here because, to be honest, you know, his show is tomorrow. So is this going to trend for 24 hours? Is this going to result in more people tuning into Dynamite? I don't think it is. There's a good chance that by tomorrow morning this is sort of blown over, and the conversation, something else will have come along tomorrow. And so what is he actually gaining from this? This just strikes me as quite petty, point scoring. I said on social media, and I really mean it, I can't remember who I responded to. Oh, it was Aaron. I said to Aaron, I was like, I really think that Tony Khan is the problem when it comes to AEW, and not from the booking point of view. I think that's a whole separate problem. I just think from a PR point of view, I just think that he has made himself very unlikable. Like, Tony Khan divides opinion, and I think a lot of WWE fans don't like him, right? Him having a go at Jinder, even though Jinder hadn't done anything to him, ain't gonna win over any new fans. So he finds new ways of making himself unlikable. Just always seems to find new ways. And I really think that's hurting the AEW product. If Tony Khan was to become a silent partner, provide the money and, some ideas if, he has to, and just kind of go off into the background, never to be heard of, right? He just silently provides money. And the person that talks on social media, talks at the press conferences, is Bryan Danielson. Let's say Bryan Danielson, when he retires, he gets that position where he doesn't have to be at the show every week, just has to go to the pay-per-views. He can write stuff from home. He can still be involved in the wrestling business, but he is basically the Jack Tunney of AEW. He is the president. He is the face. He is the person that will, do the press conferences and, all this kind of stuff. I just think AEW overnight becomes a lot more likable. Overnight becomes a lot more approachable, becomes a lot more likable than it is now. So I really think Tony, in many different reasons, but from a PR perspective in particular, I just think he's a big problem for them. It's a big, big problem. And as Aaron said, I've never seen so many Jinder fans. It's true. Gerald said, Tony also keeps bringing criticism to his own product with shots at WWE. He took a shot at Vince's SA allegations and then hired Ric Flair, who's got a history of them. That's true. I mean, if you're going to take a shot like that, I mean, that's a good example. And also the example of the Abaddon thing that we just read. So he's had a pop at Jinder for not winning a match in a year and being, out of the picture. And then someone's come along and gone, didn't Abaddon just get a women's title opportunity? When you throw stones, they say make sure you're not in a glass house, because if a stone comes back, you want to make sure that you're well protected. And he just always seems to be in a glass house, doesn't he? As you said, when he took shots at Vince, he then goes and hires Ric Flair, who's got sexual assault allegations. And like when he was talking about how they're the safest promotion in all of wrestling. And it's like, dude, you literally was on TV saying you feared for your life. An incident happened backstage, right, in your company, where you came out and the result was the person got fired and you had to go on TV and admit that you feared for your life. And now you've got the nerve to come out and say that you've got the safest record in all of professional wrestling. This guy is, honestly, this guy is delusional, man. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. I really do wonder if we're playing with a full deck of cards. I really do wonder if all the sandwiches are in the picnic basket. I just don't know. I don't know. It's wonderfully entertaining. Wonderfully entertaining. And if there's one positive that's come out of it, it's that Jinder has never been so over. Jinder is so over right now. Everyone's rooting for Jinder, which I was so pleased for Jinder to get that opportunity. I definitely would have done some sort of number one contenders match. I do think Tony has a point in there. There is a point. I don't know that it was a point that needed to be made. I don't think he's the right person to make it, but I think it's fair for someone to come out and go, why is Jinder getting a title match when he's literally not done anything to earn it? Like, that's the kind of conversation that we would have, or wrestling fans would have. And so I think there is a conversation there, but I don't think he's the right person for that conversation, because it just comes across as really petty. And then, of course, people will go, hang on, didn't you give that title shot to Abaddon? You know? So, and plus also, he was having a go at USA Network. USA Network said, what's the cage match rating, right? And I do think they share in the blame in this. I know that some people don't think that they're at fault, but if they hadn't have made that comment, then none of this would have happened. They started this, right? I know people are saying, well, Tony started it by mentioning the cage match thing in the first place. Yeah, that was a stupid comment, and fans took the mick out of him. But a company like USA Network, you would think that, you know, they wouldn't like lower themselves to this. Like, they're a network, they're a TV network. In the future, they may work with AEW. If WWE go off to Disney or whatever, and USA Network don't have any wrestling, then they may need to like reach an agreement with AEW. Who knows? Crazier things have happened in the world of wrestling, right? So it's just weird that they've kind of took a bit of a shot at Tony, and just like, it's just a little dig. It's just a friendly banter thing, you know, that's all it is. Just a friendly bit of banter, which, you know, like Wendy's do with McDonald's. I don't know if you've ever seen those tweets, but like Wendy's always have a little pop at McDonald's. They're always going off. And it just creates a bit of controversy, creates a little bit of buzz. So I definitely think that they have to take their share of the blame in this. But yeah, you know, to respond to them and have a go back at them by dragging Jinder into this, he could have gone off at them and gone, great that you're focused on my product or my comments. Maybe you want to focus on your declining ratings more. Like, he could have had a pop back at them about them. He didn't need to have a go back at them by dragging Jinder through the mud. So it's a bad look for Tony. You don't need me to tell you that. It's a bad look for Tony. And there's going to be so much conversation on this. It's going to be so much conversation. It's going to be so much that people are going to say on this. And I can see it sticking around for a little bit. I think by the time Dynamite rolls around, it will have blown over. But yeah, not unexpected, eh? Unexpected. The real Kyle said, I don't get why it's a problem. People in wrestling business trash talk. It's the nature of business. Are they supposed to hold hands and sing a song? You don't get why it's a problem that people in the wrestling business trash talk. That's the nature of the business. Are they supposed to hold hands and sing a song? I don't know what we're referring to. Do you mean you don't know what's wrong with Tony having a pop at Jinder? Well, I mean, what all I would say is that we keep getting these messages of, like, from Dustin, like, tribal, you know, we get Edge and Dustin coming out saying, guys, why all the tribalism, right? So if Tony is going to be taking shots at Jinder, right, unprovoked from Jinder, by the way, well, I would say that's a problem, isn't it? If we're trying to lower the temperature of the tribalism, if that is something we're trying to do, if you're trying to make, like, wrestling, like, you know, a positive place, and you're trying to make social media a bit more of a positive place, then I would say what Tony's doing is countering to that. So that is the problem. That's where the issue comes from. I think if you've got people within the same promotion taking shots at each other, there's no issue with that. We cover a lot of that on the unseen videos that we do, where people will have little backs and forths and that's entertaining. But I think this is different when you've got, like, different companies that clearly are not working with each other, right? You know, if someone takes a shot, like if Drew McIntyre takes a shot at CM Punk on social media, makes sense, because you're right, it's the wrestling business and we can make money from that. Like, we're building some heat there. But, like, what are we building with this AEW WWE thing? You know, all we're building is negativity. All we're building is the tribalism. All we're building is stuff that a lot of people don't like about modern wrestling, you know? You see tons of people that want to lower that temperature down. Even people within AEW. Yet Tony just seems to want to keep raising it up. So you've got these conflicting mindsets. I reckon, I mean, there are people out there that are just like, let it burn. Let it burn. Let's have everyone firing shots at everyone. Like, we're all adults. Let's just let the thing burn. But you've also got people like Dustin, like Edge, that are trying to lower that temperature down and not succeeding. Animal Instinct said, we need Velveteen Dream and Jackson Riker back in WWE. Controversy creates cash. Well, that is true. That was actually the name of Eric Bischoff's book, I believe. Controversy creates cash. I mean, they say there's no such thing as bad press. All press is good press. I honestly don't know that that's true, because I think that's where you've got people that have been accused of things, certainly in the Velveteen Dream case, you know, he came out with like an apology video, didn't specify exactly what he was apologizing for, and we do have to stress he's never been found guilty of anything. But, you know, it's a bit like the Riddle situation as well. I think things that are going to be... Depends what you're being accused of, isn't it? You know, in this modern age, wrestling companies, and really most companies, don't want to be associated with, like, sexual assaults and things of that ilk. Because it's just really bad for their brand. It's bad for their relationships with advertisers. It's bad for sponsors. And so, you know, it's debatable as to whether all press is good press. Because I feel like there's many examples where that is not true. But that is a saying that has done the rounds, that there's no such thing as bad press. Animal Instinct, shout out to you. Botched eye surgery said Tony's dad needs to take his phone off of him. Tony is someone that, I mean, you know, I was thinking about this. I was thinking, do I blame him for responding to USA Network? I don't think he needed to, but they are a TV network, right? Now, granted, it's probably some kid who's just come out of college or university, right? Who's running that account, social media accounts. You know that these are run by largely just kids. And young, like, you know, people that have come out of uni, that have got marketing degrees, whatever. They run these accounts and they just try to create a bit of buzz, right? So it's clearly not going to be anyone of any importance that's tweeted that out from USA Network. But it's irrelevant because it's still USA Network, right? If whoever had tweeted that out had tweeted out something controversial, right? Had said something about sexual assault or whatever, all right? It's USA Network that's above the tweet, right? Even if it is some punk kid that's just come out of university with a marketing degree. So I sort of feel like Tony could have looked at it as like, it's a kid, I'm going to leave it, right? Or I suppose I don't blame him for looking at it as, no, hang on, that's USA Network. They should have more respect for, like, me than to, like, you know, come with a little cheap shot like that. And so if he had have responded with something that wasn't a shot at Jinder or even a shot at WWE, but was a shot that was aimed at USA Network, I do think that would have been more palatable. I think that would have been more acceptable. Had he have, as I said, come back with, like, rather than worrying about me, you might want to worry about your decline in ratings, still would have come across as petty, right? I think it still would have looked petty, but I don't think it would have been as badly received as him having a shot at Jinder who didn't warrant that, right? Did nothing to warrant that. So, yeah, I think someone taking his phone away is probably the right idea. It's probably the right thing for someone to do. He probably should just have a little detox for a while, you know. But part of me does think, like, do I blame him for having to go back at USA Network? Because they really should know better as well, right? They really should know better. I really don't think they can be seen as completely innocent in this, because without their comment, none of this would have been ignited, you know? Could you imagine whoever that kid is? Like, I don't know, he's probably 19, 20, 21, something like this. You know, he's put that little message out, and now all of a sudden all of this is blowing up. Like, I wonder if he's sat there going, oh man, am I in trouble tomorrow? Have I gone too far? Oh, Jesus. I just wanted to create a little buzz. That's all I wanted to do. What does the manual say? What am I meant to do now? Oh, God. J.M. Beer said Tony Khan needs to brush his hair. Well, he probably just needs to go for a little walk. Yeah, anything other than tweet him right now. Anything other than tweet him. Go and touch grass. That's what they say, and it's wrestling fans. Go and touch some grass. Trini says a bachelor's degree is international business management, bachelor degree in international business, financial master's degree in international business, financial master's degree in finance. Is that what you've got? What is this? What's this? Is this some sort of brag? Are you bragging away, Trini? Is that what I mean? Fair play if you are. If you have got all of those things, that's very impressive. I would ask, why are you here right now in the chat and not swimming in money, right? If I had all of those things to my name, right now I would have a swimming pool full of money and I would just be backstroking. That's all I'd be doing. I wouldn't even be thinking about Tony Khan. I certainly wouldn't be engaging in this conversation, so... Chenny said, after all of that, never saw a businessman behave like Tony. Travis said, I disagree. Tony should never have said it at the press conference. Well, yeah, no, I agree with that. He shouldn't have said it. It was a silly comment, and I think that fans were right to criticize for it. But I do also feel that USA Network should be above that, right? Fans can have a pop at him. Yeah, he shouldn't have said it. Silly little comment, right? But, like, USA Network, they've just dragged Tony for no reason, you know? We talk about this tribalism thing, and you've got Dustin saying, like, you know, guys, let's lower this tribe. We don't need tribalism. You've got Edge saying, guys, there's no war and all this kind of stuff. But it is true. I mean, that is a shot that's fired by USA Network, an unnecessary shot that was fired by USA Network just to get a little bit of acknowledgement, buzz, recognition, little controversy. I think it's blown up a lot more than they expected. A lot more than they expected. I don't know that they thought Tony would see it or Tony would respond. And now, obviously, it's become this massive thing. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, each to their own. Some people will say, no, they were fine to do it. But I don't think it was necessary. I think they should be above it. I think networks should be above it. I don't think networks should be getting involved in this stuff. What we're going to see next, TNT coming in, wading in and having shots at people. I mean, it's one of those where if they do, everyone will be like, where's the popcorn? And they'll sit back and they'll be like, let's go. There's like TNT, TBS, USA Network, CW Network will come in because they've just got NXT, haven't they? And imagine if Raw does go to Disney and Disney arrive. The big guns. Oh, let's go. Disney come in, start having a go at, like, USA, start having a go at TBS. Could have this whole network war that kicks off on social media. But we don't have that right now, to be honest. And I would say, you know, it's probably best to just keep this thing as minimized as possible. We'll keep it amongst the fans for now. I think once we start getting the conglomerates involved, that's when things are really spiraling. So, could be a wild year, man. Could be a wild year. God only knows where we're heading. Alex Bliss Gamer said, the funny thing is that USA didn't even mention Tony's name. Cage matches correlated with Tony, but it also has got nothing to do with Tony. That's true. I mean, I'm sure people will have tagged him, I'm guessing. Although, you know, he probably does follow. I could understand it being a case that he follows, like, Raj Giri Sean Ross Sapp, PW Insider, Wrestle Votes. Like, he's probably got a list of people that he follows because, you know, he wants to see what's being spoken about. He wants to see how he's being spoken about. I could understand that. So it's probably just a case that he's either been tagged in it or it showed on his feed because he follows Rajgiri anyway. And, you know, it's probably got onto his radar that way. So, yeah, wild. Tommy Toy Travels said, none of this matters. We need to talk about MatPats or the UFO sightings. Yeah, actually, what was the UFO? Actually, we should go back to that. What's, Tommy, shout out to you. We weren't able to do the Wrestling Escape Pod tonight because Tommy is what I like to call a disgrace. And he was a little bit late getting back. So we should be doing Wrestling Escape Pod tomorrow. That's a really good shout, actually. Let's go back to UFO. Just above gender. Just above gender. UFO sightings. Pay attention to the background in the jellyfish. What the hell? Jellyfish UAP video. What? It's only 4 seconds long. Pay attention to the background. Well, there's nothing there. It's just snow. Pay attention to the background in the jellyfish UAP. Am I meant to be looking at this black thing in the middle? Because that's weird. I don't know what that is. So why are you telling me to look in the background? The flip. Hang on, what's this? What's this in New York? Oh, hang on. Someone has gone bigger, look. But this sort of bad faith debunking is why... Oh, they're saying it's bird shiz. They're saying it's just on the lens. That's all it is. Is that what's got Afghanistan talking right now? This UFO sighting is actually like bird mess on the lens of the camera. That's what's got people talking. Oh, that's brilliant if that's what it is. Let's go. I think, is it? Yeah, I think it is. I think it is this. What is this object? Dubbed the jellyfish? We think it's poop. That's what we think it is. We think it's poop. Yeah, you were right. This is the gift that keeps on giving. Look, someone here, I'm testing something. This person has gone, like, really put in different filters and tweaked it all around. Oh, God. Can I sense any kind of life form there? Amazing. We've still got unanswered questions. Nah, we're pretty sure it's poop. That's what I just read. We think it's poop. Oh, this is a good one. Now that's a UFO. That is a UFO. Defo. Defo. That ain't bird poop, is it? That is definitely a UFO. When was this? On January 7th? You're telling me we had a UFO 3 days ago and we're sat here talking about Jinder Mahal? Oh my God, look, there's a ring out of Sonic. Go on, go through it. Go on. Yeah. Oh my God. It was a portal. It was a portal. Oh, man. That was a twist. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see that coming. I thought it was like Sonic and like the Sonic noise might play. I didn't expect the flipping thing to be a portal. What a time to be alive. So yeah, Triple T, shout out to you. That was definitely the right thing for us to do. Go back and have a look at the UFO sightings. Johnny said, talking about aliens, I've been watching Elf lately and I really like the show. It's a classic. It's a great show. Alien life form. He was big, man. Really big. In like the 80s, I believe. I think I saw him in the 90s, around in the 90s, but I don't think the show was still on at that point. But yeah, where do you watch it? Where's it being shown? I'd definitely check out an episode of Elf. James said E.T. would make Tony fear for his life. What are your thoughts on JD from New York? I don't know. What is there a controversy? Or are you just asking my general opinion? Because there are some controversies sometimes around JD, are there not? So is there a new one? Have a look. No, I don't think there is. No. I would be surprised if aliens come to Earth. I would as well. X-Files is a goated show followed by Fringe, said Dort Knight. Tom said, did you see Grayson Waller saying fear for his life from KO hitting people? I did not. Kian said, how's your day? Hope you're having a good stream. What are your thoughts on Raw? Are you looking forward to NXT? Have you heard the 2 fights? Wow, there's a lot there, isn't there? I saw Oliveira fight getting announced. To be honest, I don't ever... It's a bad habit that I've got, but I don't care about fights being announced. I've seen so many fights that fall through. It was more during the pandemic, to be honest, but no word of a lie, we would start the week with like 12 fights, and by the time we get to the show, actually about 14, by the time we got to the show, there was about 9. We would lose like 4 or 5 due to COVID and stuff like this. So that doesn't happen as much now, in all fairness. But I've got a bit of a hangover from it, where I don't go on and like really pay attention to the fights. Plus, I mean, look at John Jones and Stipe. You know, like that was meant to happen and it fell through. Look at Connor and Chandler. That was meant to happen and it fell through. Like, there's so many fights that fall through. I just worry about it when we get to them. So I saw something to do with Charles Oliveira, but I'm not bothered. I'll care about it when we get to it. In regards to Raw, I thought Raw was fine. Gave it like a 6.75. It was fine. I didn't think it was anything earth-shattering. I thought there was some nice moments, but by and large, I don't know that anything was better than the R-Truth bit, which was the best bit, or the CM Punk Drew back and forth. I enjoyed Jinder and Seth, and you know, there's a few little moments in there. I thought the matches were a bit so-so. Main event was okay. I wasn't as crazy about it as some others that I saw that seemed to really enjoy it. So for me, it probably worked out like 6.75, something like that. Fine, perfectly serviceable, perfectly acceptable. The kind of show I just can't see why you couldn't do that every week, like for the rest of the year. It's just solid, fine, lovely, right? In regards to NXT, a little bit of the same, to be honest. This is the first week of the Dusty Classic, so I kind of feel like tonight is going to be a little bit of not a snooze fest, but it's the first round. We are just kind of going to work our way through the early stages of the tournament. There's not really anything huge that's on the show by the looks of it. We do have Gigi against Cora, I believe, which could be pretty fun. But to be honest, it just looks like a lot of tag matches tonight. So can't say on paper it's one that's really getting the juices bubbling. Probably why we're spending so long talking about Tony rather than NXT. But, you know, look, if we go in with our expectations in check, if we go in with our expectations at a certain level, then I'm sure that that level will be at least met, if not exceeded. And that's probably a healthy way to look at it, isn't it? So, yeah, so. I really don't want to come on and go, oh yeah, Raw was amazing, really enjoyed it. Oh god, NXT is going to be incredible tonight. I don't want to do that. I don't want to lie to you guys. You know, when a show is genuinely exciting, I'll tell you. When I think it's genuinely exciting. When a show is so-so, I will tell you it looks so-so. Right? So I think tonight's looks so-so. I think that it could be absolutely fine. It could be serviceable. I don't know. There's nothing on paper that is suggesting to me that this is going to be an episode that we remember for the rest of our lives. But it could be absolutely fine. Could be absolutely fine. And to be honest, there's so much excitement in wrestling right now. Who cares? Do you know what I mean? We're on the road to Royal Rumble. Like, there's so much going on. We got drama on social media. We got the Rumble approaching. We've got Jinder Seth, which is now the biggest match that's ever happened in the history of wrestling. That's taking place on Monday. I don't even know what's happening on Friday, but I'm sure we've got some stuff going down on Friday as well. I don't think Roman's on the show. Don't think he's on the show. But obviously they're building towards the Rumble. And the Rumble's only a few weeks away, you know. It's not that far. I think they said it was like 2 weeks on Sunday. So it'll soon be around. Soon be time for the Rumble. And that's one of the best shows of the year. So, yeah. Lots to talk about. Liam said, Daze, I am on Twitter with the Van Dyke profile. Okay, what's your is your name, Liam? Do I follow you, Liam? If I don't follow you, just leave me a message and I will happily click and respond and follow you back. I'm happy to follow anyone on Twitter. More than happy to follow anyone on Twitter. Stand and Fight said, Daze, will Jinder now defeat Seth in a shock twist on the road to WrestleMania? Well, I did a unseen video earlier today. I was going to do it last night, but there was nothing massive that jumped out. So I was like, you know what? It's getting a little late. The problem with Raw is it's got that extra hour. So it's, you know, by the time it finishes, it's 11 Eastern. People are thinking of going to bed anyway. So I was like, I can wait. I'll save it for tomorrow. So I left it and I did it today. But one of the things I saw was that Patrick the Heel, his comments. Now, I'm pretty sure they were tongue-in-cheek. They struck me as being tongue-in-cheek. So if he was being serious, then I apologize. I don't know. I took them as tongue-in-cheek comments. But it was a thread all about Jinder winning. And as I said, I believe it to be tongue-in-cheek, but there was genuinely some good points I thought that were being made. One of the points was how, like, the Drew story has been, like, one of the biggest stories on Raw. And it has. That's true. And Drew winning the title off Jinder and the history with 3MB. In all fairness, we've done that before. Do you remember during the pandemic, Heath said he wanted a shot at Drew's title? And we actually did Drew versus Heath. And so when Drew was champion during the pandemic, we did do a bit of a 3MB story. So the idea that, like, we wouldn't do that now is, I don't know, crazy, because we have done it. We did it in 2020 when we were doing the Performance Center shows. Now, granted, we've got to remember that's nearly 4 years ago. I do appreciate that, but we have done it before. It's not like there isn't a precedent for it, for doing like stories based on 3MB. And I think 3MB are actually quite interesting, because for those of you that wasn't watching wrestling at the time, they were a joke. They were the maximum male models of their day. They were a joke job group that would come out and job and get beaten up, and they would be goofy and they would be silly, and they were maximum male models, right? Slightly different gimmick, but they were jobbers. They were a joke, right? They were taking bumps and putting others over. But that group was made up of Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal, and Heath Slater. And it is very interesting to see that Jinder, after that, went on to be a world champion. Drew, after that, went on to be a world champion. And Heath Slater, sadly, never escaped that kind of comedy and never got to be a champion, like world champion. He was very good at the comedy stuff. And to be honest, he never changed his physique as much as Jinder and Drew. Jinder and Drew absolutely transformed how they look. They got shredded. They got really, really shredded compared to how they were. We never saw that transformation from Heath Slater. But it's really interesting that you've got this jobber group with some of the people involved going on to achieve such success. So I don't mind us doing a bit of a Jinder Drew program. I think Jinder has shown is a great promo. I think he could really lay into the crowds. He could pick up some wins on the road to WrestleMania. And I love the idea of Drew being a babyface, beating Jinder, right? Getting that moment, almost getting that moment where he wins the title and gets to celebrate. But before he even does, before he even gets to celebrate. So he wins the match. The title has not even been handed to him. So he's won the match. He's exhausted. He's got past Jinder. Jinder's put up a hell of a fight, right? Because we do need to reinvent Jinder as, like, credible to some degree, right? But let's say that he beats Jinder and he gets the win. The title is about to be handed to him. And then Damian Priest cashes in and successfully cashes in. So Drew wins the title and once again does not get to celebrate in front of the fans. Like, that is such an interesting story to me. I think that's so interesting. I think that's so entertaining. I could really get with that. And to be honest, Jinder, Drew, if built right, with video packages, looking at their history, looking at 3MB, I reckon you could get some out of that. And the bigger point is that Seth and CM Punk don't need the title involved. Seth CM Punk headlines WrestleMania Night 1. You don't need the title. That match is a grudge match. They hate each other. Seth certainly hates CM Punk. And it doesn't need the belt. So you could do Jinder versus Drew as the co-main, and then afterwards do Seth versus CM Punk grudge match as the match afterwards. Now, I don't know that I would necessarily go that way. I'm just saying that there is something there. I don't think it's the worst thing I've ever heard. I don't think that it's like super cringe or anything like this. There is something there. But I don't know that I would necessarily go that way. But I really don't mind Jinder getting this opportunity. I really, really don't mind. I think Jinder really deserves more respect than he gets, because it's not his fault that creative don't give him more opportunity. It's not his fault that he doesn't get matches. He can wrestle. He can cut promos. I told the story before that I remember him on Talking Smack 8 years ago, years and years ago. And I remember watching him on Talking Smack and I was like so blown away with this promo. I thought it was so good. I can't remember if I did a video. I hope I did. I hope I put it in a video. If I did, it would be 2016-ish. And it would be one of the first videos on the channel. And I might have a look to see if I can see if I did do anything. But basically, I remember saying, we need to do more with Jinder. That was a fire promo. He deserves more opportunity. He deserves some, like, more. He can carry more weight than what we're giving him. And fast forward not that long, a few months later, he's like winning the world title. I mean, it was crazy. It came out of nowhere. It was undeserved. It was rushed. It was because we were trying to break into India. And that has been held against him for so long. And it's like, is that his fault? Is that his fault that an opportunity presented itself and he grabbed it and took it and tried to make the most out of it? Is that his fault? I don't think it's his fault. So I've got time for Jinder. I really do. Jinder is someone that I just think has been badly booked, badly treated. And the point I made in the Unseen video as well. So last week, when they said a former champ was going to come out, they made Jinder go out so that the fans would be disappointed. They wanted the fans to be gutted because obviously the fans want Stone Cold. They want The Rock. They want a big name. Here's Jinder Mahal. So, to be honest, WWE did him dirty on purpose. They made him go out there knowing that the fans would be disappointed. They made him go out there and sort of degrade himself because they put him in a position where the fans would be disappointed, underwhelmed, you know, and that's not a great feeling if you're a talent, is it? I don't want to walk out there and the reaction be, oh, this guy. Who wants that? Who wants that reaction? No one wants that reaction, but that's the position they put him in last week. And you know what? He did it. And he did it to the best of his ability, and he cut a great promo, and that segment did 171 million views, right? Clearly it was The Rock that carried the weight of that, but Jinder played his part. So I love the fact that WWE have gone, do you know what, mate? Thanks for doing that for us. Really appreciate it. As a thank you, we're going to give you a title match. We're going to put you on TV. We're going to put you in a match with Seth. We're going to give you a few weeks exposure, and hopefully, like, following that, we can get a bit of momentum, and we'll see where it goes. And you know what? Tony Khan might have just done the best thing Jinder could ever have asked for, because Jinder is back on TV, and he is right now, in the space of just a couple of segments, he's been involved in a segment that had 171 million views, and now he's like the third trend in around the world. Right, so if I'm Jinder, I'm like, what more can I do, man? What more can I do? I'm being spoken about. I've got people that are like rooting for me. I've got, like, as Aaron said, I've never seen so many Jinder fans. That match with Seth has just become a hell of a lot bigger. I know that much. A hell of a lot bigger. So a big thank you to Tony Khan for that. James said people are blind to see that Tony is a mini Vince. Christopher said, did you see Jinder's response? I did. Yeah, I did. I think Hook is well within his right to respond to that now. If I was to be critical, I would just say I feel a bit bad for Hook. I don't think he deserves to be dragged. You know, Jinder came in and was like, who the is Hook? Right, which is funny, but Hook ain't done nothing wrong. It's a little bit like how I feel sorry for Jinder, because he hadn't done nothing wrong, and now all of a sudden Hook's getting dragged, and he ain't done nothing wrong. So I do feel for Hook there. So I think Hook's well within his right to come out and have a little pop back now at Jinder, or have a pop at someone. And it just keeps this thing going as well. So amazing. Right, we are just a minute away. We are a minute away. And we will be up and running very, very soon. Shakeem has just sent me numbers that Raw last night did 1.46. 1.46. Don't know how I feel about that. Michelle says, so I think I'd like to see that a bit higher, to be honest. Do you remember when we were doing 1.7s, 1.8s, and we were bobbing between 1.7, 1.8s? Don't want the new normal to be around 1.5. Michelle said, if in some universe both Rhea Ripley and Mercedes sign with AEW, do you think they would have Riho beat them? No. Rio's not even winning the title off Toni Storm at the moment, is she? So I think they could get Mercedes, but no, I think Rio was someone that was the best of a bad bunch in the early days of AEW. And I think as this women's division is evolving, she is really not getting used that much, is she? She tends to come in like once a year, something like this, so... No, I think the days of Rio being a top women's champion are probably done. Okay, we are going over to NXT. Is that Raw's lowest rating? I've seen a chart and it showed that it was the lowest. No, I think we've definitely been down to like, weren't we in like 700,000 for the best of in December as well? But for a regular show, I think we've been down at the 1.3 something as well. So I've said before, I can't spin those numbers into a positive. I suppose the only positive is that at some point this year, we're going to move the show to a new network and there'll be a big relaunch. And so we'll have to see what happens at that point, but that's not until later in the year. But before that, of course, we have got WrestleMania season. That's going to help massively. But yeah, it being down like 1.4, 1.5 doesn't feel brilliant. I'd like to see that get back to 1.7, which I think it could do as we get into the WrestleMania season, you know. Okay, we are started with NXT. And I don't know what our first match is going to be. We're just looking at New Year's Evil from last week. New Year's Evil. That was, oh man, you know, I did a reaction video to that and I never uploaded it. That moment from Wilds where he got slingshotted was so good. That was so good. I never uploaded that. Oh, yes. She's got a new ranch hand, hasn't she? Fallon beat Tiffany. And so we should see Tiffany, like, mucking out the stables and all that kind of stuff tonight. So, okay, let's go. I'm down for this. Brony said, can you believe that Obafemi is only 22? That's an insane fact. Oh, no, that's really cool. Obafemi is definitely someone that's got a bright future. Winning that breakout tournament is a good sign, and that they see a lot in him. And I think he does bring something that's missing. That ferociousness, that violence. We kind of see it from Bron Breakker. But Obafemi, definitely, there's a place in the NXT world for him. And we're just seeing Trick Williams winning in the main event last week. Obviously, Kevin Owens getting involved. We're going over to the Performance Center in Orlando. NXT. Moments ago, we got Nikita Lyons. Oh, okay. There's a brawl breaking out between Nikita and Blair. So Nikita and Blair being pulled apart. Oh, and they're actually fighting in the entranceway. So we saw them in the parking lot, and now they're fighting in the entranceway. So we are up and running. We've got Blair and Nikita. NXT. Blair versus Nikita. Ring the bell! Right. This match was meant to take place later tonight. So, Nikita looking for a suplex. A bit of a brainbuster, actually, but she didn't quite get that. It was suplex-esque. On Blair, forearm strike. She has got Blair. Back elbow by Blair. Blair climbing up. Nikita gets out the way. Kick by Nikita. Blair goes down to kick out by Blair. Nikita up on her feet as Blair goes into the corner. Nikita comes over. Looking to suplex. No, Joy shots the midsection there by Blair. Nikita goes hard into the ring post and spills to the outside. Blair on the edge of the ring. Coming over. Double stomp to the back of Nikita, and Nikita goes down. Blair throws Nikita back into the ring. Blair climbing up. She's going to go for another double stomp. Double stomp. Yeah, right onto the back. And Nikita goes down. She held her leg momentarily. Referee came over just to check on her. Blair very much in control. Clubbing blow. Shots to the midsection. Nikita goes down onto her hands and knees. Blair in control. Guillotine being applied by Blair Davenport. These girls are pretty good. They work well, said Intoxicated Drums. A. Jobson said all the Tony Khan Twitter mess started because of a Millennial USA Network intern. Brony said, how would you feel if Punk beat Seth for the title and then Priest cashed in on Punk and then we start Punk Judgment Day feud with Punk winning the title? I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I've just gone through I've just gone through a group of baby faces being thrown together to take on the Judgment Day. We've just lived that for how many months with Sammy and Kevin and Jay and all of that. Like, The idea we do it again now and we just do the same thing again, but just with some different faces. Like, it's just the same story again. So, not for me, to be honest. I think I would rather that we get... I don't even know who, but I'd love a proper faction to go up against them, like, and have, like, someone rise up and stand up to the Judgment Day as an actual faction. Because these thrown together groups of baby faces, it's just going to result in a load of, like, single matches. You know, we do singles matches, then we might do some tag matches, and we build to the pay-per-view where we get, like, a multi-person match, or... Do you know what I mean? I feel like we've just watched that. It's hard to know what to do with Judgment Day. They're so big. I don't know if maybe you just break it down and you have some of them go after, like, tag belts and... Well, they're already tag champs, but focus on that. And you have, like, Dominic go after a mid-card belt, and you have, like, Damian going after the world belt. Maybe you try and break it down a little bit more, rather than do another story where baby faces are trying to go after him. So... I mean, it's not the worst idea in the world. It's the kind of thing that I could see WWE doing because it kills time, to be honest. It gives Punk something to do. They're the biggest heel faction on the show. It gives Punk something to do. You can chuck a load of the baby faces in, but it's just... I don't know, man. It just don't get my juices going, you know? It doesn't really do it for me when we've literally just seen that story play out with Kevin, Sammy, Jay... Cody and all of that at the end of last year. Kicks coming in there by Nikita. Blair back up on her feet. Nikita trying to scoop up Blair. Nikita going against the ropes. Clothesline over the top to the outside. Nikita goes underneath that bottom rope, goes after Blair. Kick coming in. She goes back. Ooh, spin kick. Her kicks are quite slow. She's got good kicks, good agility. She clearly, you know, has got skill, but when she throws them, they seem to take forever to land. She throws Blair back into the ring. Brownie said, do you think Priest will have a failed cash-in? I think he will with the way things are looking. Well, it depends who he cashes in on. I think he could succeed. Oh, Blair gets the win in the end. He could succeed just because CM Punk doesn't need the belt. CM Punk ain't a bigger star if he's got the belt. He doesn't need it. But someone like Damian Priest would really benefit from having it. You know, Damian Priest needs it. He definitely needs it. So, I sort of feel like him getting it would make sense. So, yeah, this is why, you know, CM Punk winning and then getting cashed on. I really don't mind that. A lot of people would be against it. But I don't mind it because if Damian is going to get to that next level, he probably needs a successful cash-in, not a failed one. But then there'll be people saying, well, do you know what? I just don't think Damian Priest is the one. I don't think that I don't see it in him. I don't see him being that person. You know? And there'll be people saying I would much rather see a CM Punk title reign. You know? I'd like to see CM Punk have a title reign. I mean, let's be honest, though. The belt that Seth has got, it ain't the belt. If you've got that belt, you're not the face of the company. It's not the belt. The belt is the one that Roman's got. Really, I would like to see CM Punk have a run with that belt. I want to see CM Punk be the guy, the face, the one that Seth's got. It means just a little bit more than a replica. So, I really don't care if CM Punk gets Seth's belt. I really don't care if he gets that world title. I feel like that world title is really meant for the likes of Sammy, that's never held a world title, the likes of Damian, that's never held a world title, the likes of Finn Balor, who's held a title for like 24 hours. To me, that's who that belt's meant for. CM Punk definitely should have his eyes on Roman's belt, the belt. I know that's not how WWE want us to look at it. WWE want us to look at it that they're both equal, but they're definitely not. They're definitely not. This Friday. So, undisputed Fatal 4-Way match at the Rumble. We're building to that. Bianca Belair and Bayley one-on-one on Friday. Bianca Belair, Bayley one-on-one on Friday. So, get in your thoughts on that last match. What did you think about it? How did you rate it? You know what I'm going to say? Try and use that top option like once a show, if even that. Like, really, it should be you're only going top option. Top option is your 5 stars. It's your 4.75, 5 stars. It's maybe 4.5. It's, you know, it's the real special. Do you know what I mean? It's the good stuff. So I certainly wouldn't be going for that on a regular basis. But I think we've got our heads around it now. Some of the scores coming in have been a lot more accurate, I would say. So put in your thoughts as to what you thought about Nikita and Blair. I am recording them and putting them. I didn't add yesterday's, to be honest. Still got to do that. So we are at commercial break. One of the interesting things about it being on the WWE Network is I now get WWE adverts. So even the adverts are quite distracting. I mean, right now I'm watching an advert for the bump. I'm just watching them advertising that on the network at the moment. William, shout out to you. Hope you are well. Intoxicated Drum said, I love Bayley. Johnny says, what did Johnny say? What have I made this match? We have bad snowstorms and it took everything out. When this match started, now it's back on. Well, I thought the match was so-so. I mean, it's, as I said, I think Nikita's kicks are a little bit slow. I enjoyed the intensity, though. I didn't think it was a bad match. I thought that it was a very acceptable TV match, let's put it that way. I think if that was on pay-per-view, you'd be a bit disappointed with it. But as a TV match, I think it is good. Very acceptable. So, yeah, I don't think you've really missed anything, to be honest. Blair Davenport getting the win, I think, was the right call. I am not a Nikita Lyons fan. I just really don't see that much in her. I see a lot of hype. I see a lot of simping, but I see like her kicks. I definitely see the kicks, the striking, but don't know. The rest of it is just not there for me. So I think she's got quite a journey ahead of her, and obviously that journey was derailed with the injury that she had. So that was not a bad match. So more of that from Nikita, please. Defcon, shout out to you, said, did you see the articulation? Yeah, Defcon. So Dawn Knight told me to read your comment, and I was looking out for your comment, and I couldn't see any comments. And then I got told, I think it was by Austin 316 on Twitter, that you had super chatted it. So apologies for missing that. Have I seen the articulation? I have not. But to be honest, the basics need to get better. The basics have been rubbish for a long time. I'll have a look at ringside now. Thankfully, you got the job done. You beat Waller all by yourself. Oh man, I need that new Asuka figure. We don't know how long Elia's out for. Oh, they're in the Dusty Classic. Trick and Carmelo. Ah, Trick don't like it. Carmelo says, well, I know. They're going to start calling you to title, Trick. Okay, Trick's on board now. So, Trick wasn't keen at first. Trick wasn't keen, but he came around. I was just looking at ringside. I can't see anything about this new articulation. That is a really good Logan figure, though, isn't it? You can really see it in the face. Can really see it in the face. I like the little prime bottle. It's a bit big, but doesn't matter. And his jacket, cloth jacket. I think that's a really good figure. The figure I need, though, is this Asuka one, which I think is there. Look at this. I asked the question, is this the best Mattel figure ever made? And I think it is. I think this might be my #1. I haven't actually got my hands on it yet, but the robe is amazing. Swappable heads. Ultimate Edition articulation. The facial likeness is insane. Like, it's an amazing figure. Chase U are taking on LWO. So there's 8 teams in this Dusty knockout thing. We know of some of the matches. We've got our first one here, which is going to be Gallus taking on Baron and Bron. Dogs are barking. Dogs are barking. Okay, let's end the poll. We haven't got time to wait around. Got to get the scores in. Get in. Get out. So, okay, 57%, 18%, all-time 14%, and great 10%. Thank you. Okay, Bron and Baron versus Gallus. Bron wearing the pink with the numbers on, and I'm sure they made a figure of that. That ring gear really is very distinctive. So, as I said, I believe they made a figure of that. So, Bron and Baron in the ring, about to take on Gallus. Defcon said, the ref Mr. T series has new leg and arm basic articulation. I will check it out, but I saw that Mr. T figure. Looks good. I like him in the ref attire. So I will have a little look at that. What did ISO Wrestling say? ISO said, the world would be better if Tony Khan isn't here. He is, well, I don't know I'd go that far. I don't know that I want to see him, like, erased from the world, but, I don't know, the wrestling world? Would the wrestling world be better if Tony Khan wasn't here? You know? He is definitely someone that is grinding people's gears. And, I still stand by what I said, like, him taking shots at Jinder when his problem was with USA Network's comments. It's just not a good look for him. It's not a good look. Like, I don't know why he did that or why he thought that was the right move. He's just not very good at this game. He's not very good at doing this. He just really does wind people up and get people quite animated, so... Yeah, I won't say he's better off not being in the world, but definitely I think the wrestling world would be a calmer environment. But I think we could go that far. But to be honest, some people don't want that, as we've seen in the chat tonight. Some people love the drama. Some people love the tribalism. That's, you know, that's true. Some people love the conflict. Some people live for this and love this. So, I don't know. It depends where people are, I suppose. Some people might look at Tony as being this endless source of entertainment, this endless source of cringe that keeps providing talking points. Because I'm sure as soon as people saw the tweets, that people were like, oh man, what are people going to say on there? What's Jim Cornette going to say about this? What's Cultaholic going to say about this? What's whoever's going to say about this? Like, you know, when you see these kind of comments, then all of a sudden, like, what, you know there's going to be a big fallout. Right, we've gone to commercial break. Gallus in control. Mr. Dell Jr. said the drama makes wrestling real. Defcon said, what did Tony do now? Oh, we've covered it. We've covered it. There's a video on it on the channel, but it's all over the place. Gender's trending and all that kind of stuff. The real Kyle said the wrestling world would still be toxic as long as Corny and Disco and their fans are still around. They are some of the most toxic in the wrestling community. So while people dislike Tony, there still will be an IWC. Well, that is true. The only thing I would say is that people making their comments off to the side are not gonna get the same level of exposure and the same platform unless there's like a response to it, you know? So like this, for example, that comment by USA Network wouldn't have got anywhere near the exposure it's got now that Tony responded to it, right? Jinder would not be trending if it wasn't for like what Tony did. So these comments bouncing back and forth off each other just makes the whole thing bigger. So it is true, if you take Tony out of the equation, would there still be toxicity within the wrestling world? Yes, of course there would. There are still trolls. There are still people looking to cause drama and trouble and all that kind of stuff. So yes, of course there would. But some of these situations would not get as big as what they have got. They wouldn't get the added exposure that they've got because Tony keeps responding to them and adding to them and dragging other people in, you know? So, it's true. I mean, would you ever be able to get rid of toxicity in the wrestling community? No. No, you'll never get rid of it. You'll never get rid of it because wrestling is so nowadays built on opinion, and we don't have the same opinions. You know, people want such and such to win the title. People want such and such to main event WrestleMania. Some people want such and such to go away off their TV screens. And because, like, there's so much that you can be opinionated about, there will always be so much opinion. And that is going to rub people up the wrong way because, you know, we would like to think everyone thinks the same things that we think. But the truth is we don't. Compare wrestling a lot to music, and the fact that music, there's people that love jazz, there's people that love country, there's people that love blues, there's people that love world music, there's people that love rock, there's people that love metal. None of these people are wrong for loving the style of music that they love. And to be honest, we largely just leave people to it, right? I don't know that country fans are having a pop at folk fans or anything like this. Maybe they are. I hope they are. That is something that would entertain me, but I don't think they are. But in the wrestling world, we don't have that same acceptance or tolerance. Like, you know, we do have a lot more tribalism. We do have a lot more, this is my brand, I'm going to back it kind of a thing. This is, you know, this is where my loyalties lie kind of a situation. And that, I think, will always be there. I think that will always be there. Even if there wasn't a Tony Khan, you would still have that tribalism. Maybe not to the same extent that it is, you know. I think the temperature can definitely be turned down. Definitely be turned down. But I think it would still, yeah, it'd still be there. I agree. Right, we are back from commercial break. Christopher said all new basics have elite-like articulation. If you check out Alex West Collects LA Night Basic review, it was the first basic with the new articulation. Christopher, shout out to you. I will wait for my friend Tommy Toy Travels to tell me about it, and I will watch his review of it, because he gives the most accurate figure reviews and AEW live streams that I have ever seen. So I will wait for my friend Tommy Toy Travels. Thank you. If Tommy hasn't done a video on it, in my opinion, it ain't happening. So as of right now, I don't believe there's any new articulation until Tommy tells me about it. But that's good. I mean, to be honest, they needed to shake up the basics. The basics are not done by Bill McKenna. They're done by someone else. Oh. So we've got Baron back in the corner, and they've been garbage for a long time, basics. Real garbage. Bad facial likenesses, bad articulation. Gallus getting dragged out the ring, trying to regroup. Baron Corbin comes round, he grabs Wolfgang. Corbin with a big shot there, and he ends up hitting the ring post. Drop kick there by Mark Coffey. Coffey coming over, big clubbing blow to the back of the head of Baron, and he smashes Baron's hand into the commentary table. Grabs him and smashes him into the edge of the ring. Baron Corbin having a real bad time of things at the moment. Baron Corbin on the outside, getting helped back into the ring here by Coffey. Stomp coming in there by Coffey. Bron over the other side as... decent work here as Coffey's got his knee right in the back of Baron Corbin. First round Dusty tournament. So, Christopher Tristan, shout out to you, my friend. I was only joking. I really appreciate the information. Of course, I do. Maybe that'll make basic. I mean, I don't know what that does to the price, but if they're getting better articulation, perhaps they'll be a lot more attractive going forward, because to me, they very quickly became like, nah, oh no, I don't need that. Basics was something I just really didn't touch. Some of the facial likenesses were awful compared to the elites. And some of the painted body torsos, the articulation upset a load of people when that changed a few years ago. So if it's changing again, then brilliant. Shoulder tackle by Bron. Down goes Wolfgang. So Bron gets tagged in. He picks up Wolfgang with ease. Gutbuster. Gutbuster. Ooh. Don't know what that move was, to be honest. It was hard to know who got the better of it, but it's Bron that's come out on top. Hello to Miss Clown. Daze, check what I've tagged you in. Drew CM Punk was a big success for Raw, says Big Time. Oh, Bron German suplex Wolfgang, who was holding on to Mark Coffey. That's got the crowd fired up. Crowd definitely impressed with that. What are they chanting? A spear by Bron. Wolfgang goes down. End of days. Connects. 1, 2, 3. So it's a win for Baron Corbin, Bron Breakker, and they progress to the next. Bron Breakker, Baron Corbin. I think they're a pretty good team together, you know. I actually quite like them as a team. Maybe they should win the Dusty Classic. Perhaps they should be the winners. I always like an actual proper tag team to win. But I do like these two as a team. Ring, 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 ring-a-ding-ding. So, Bron and Gallus. It's Bron and Baron that get past Gallus. They will face either Axiom and Nathan Frazer or Hank and Tank. Yeah, I think these two are getting to the final. Let's go. One more Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic match coming up tonight. I think it is the Hank and Tank Axiom Nathan Frazer one. So we'll get a whole semi-final sorted by tonight. Ah, here we go. Fallon on a horse. She so looks like a horse girl, doesn't she? And there's Tiffany helping out in the stable. Oh, is she? Oh, I thought that was Tiffany. I wasn't Tiffany. Little Miss Tiff Tiff is going to get dirt under her fingernails. Here she is. What is she wearing? She's got a pink cowgirl hat. She's overcome with the stench. She's got like a little bikini top on, little mini skirt. Tiffany, I've got clothes for you. So, Tiffany said she's going to wear what she's wearing. Yeah, the smell is too much for her. She's turned down the clothes that... Why is she struggling to walk? She's struggling to walk for some reason. I don't know why. We're going to clean the saddles, the bridles. We'll wash the horses. Droppings. Oh, she's very upset. She's very upset. She's having a full panic attack now. That horse is like, what's going on? Here's Lyra. Walking backstage. Lyra, little smile on her face. Coming up next. Godfather So said, I'm very lifted off that zombie from that one match. I have big info leak. Jake Paul is going to be a surprise entry, and he will win. He will challenge his bro, Jake, at Mania. TKO big time. Wonder if Jake could ever be a surprise. Jake Paul being a surprise in the Rumble. Never actually thought about that, you know. Why couldn't he? He's in great shape. What do you need to learn to do in a Rumble? We've seen him in WWE helping out his brother during Crown Jewel, like when Logan took on Roman. So it's not like Jake's never been in WWE before. Do you know what? That could happen. That may happen. We may see that happen. We may see him actually coming in and being involved in a Rumble one day. I don't know that it'll be this year. But, yeah, why not? I was going to look at these ratings then that Big Time sent over. So, this is the breakdown. You can see pretty flat, to be honest. I mean, they didn't really gain much, didn't really lose much. I love that little bump, though, for Chance and Carter against Green and Piper. It's probably more for the R-Truth video, to be to be honest. R-Truth video was in that segment, but I'm going to say it was Chance and Carter against Piper and Newman. Main event didn't seem to hold people's attention. I mean, we really dropped at the end. To be honest, I don't really look at the 15-minute breakdowns, but yeah, certainly it seems like people were, I don't know, kind of not that bothered about sticking around. It's probably not great news, that, for Cody and Shinsuke. We started with a big lead-in by the looks of it. And certainly people tuned in with Drew and CM Punk opening the show. But, yeah, just couldn't hold anything after that, could we? Just, no. Yeah, as I said, I'm really struggling to kind of spin that 1.46 as, like, anything really that great. I mean, it could just be the new normal. It could just be the new normal number going forward, but I really hope we see a lift. Right, we are at commercial break. We are at commercial break. Intoxicated Drum said, Tiff is a good actress. Sweet, cool storyline for Dorm Knight said, why don't we just have KSI and all the sidemen and then forget to put wrestlers in the Rumble? Let's go. A whole influencer Royal Rumble. We'll have Jake Paul. We'll have KSI. Number 30 will be Mr. Beast. We'll have, what's that dude? Toy Reviews? Whatever he is, right? He's pretty big. We'll have T-Series. Right, I think they're the biggest channel, aren't they? So they can be like number 1. So T-Series can come out at number 1. Mr. Beast at number 2. Imagine that, T-Series against Mr. Beast kicking off the Rumble. Number 3, PewDiePie. Number 4, Logan. Number 5, Jake. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know. I'm going to start running out of Marcus Brownlee. I've heard of him. Marcus Brownlee. Mr. Ballin. I've seen some of his videos. They're pretty good. Oh, Ryan's Toy Reviews. He could be in it. Matt, who's that guy? Matt Pat. You know Matt Pat. Matt Pat. He could be in it. He was trending earlier. Ninja. I've heard of him. Oh, Dr. Disrespect. Heard of him as well. Game Grumps. I've heard of them. What was his name? H3. H3. I've heard of him. Ethan Klein. I've heard of him. Keemstar. I'm maxing out now. We'll do a smaller Rumble. We'll do a 20-man Rumble. It's fine. Right, we've got Lyra in the ring. I know that Blair's not going anywhere. Who am I going to face in 4 weeks at Vengeance Day? Your mom. Oh, we'll find it out next week. I spoke to Ava. 20-woman battle royal. They're so watching this stream. They just heard us talk about 20-person Rumble, and they were like, oh, let's do a 20-person battle royal. Once we get down to the final 4, it's a fatal 4-way. Who's coming out? Who's interrupting? Lola. Have we heard from Lola much? Lola Vice making her way down. If Lola Vice was on AEW, she'd be like 75-0 by now. And probably the women's champion. I thought you would be the one to turn this place upside down. All I ever see you do is talk. All I ever see is her posting pictures of her not wearing a great deal. Yeah, I'm not here to watch you shake your ass on Instagram. I want to fight Lola Vice, the cage fighter. Oh, man, fight pit. Imagine that. Lyra against Lola in a fight pit. Or NXT Underground. We haven't done a women's NXT Underground. Everyone wants to see this match happen. Everyone loves me. These people are like sheep. They follow my every move. They love my Latina heat. The only Latina heat I see is coming from Elektra Lopez. When are you going to break it to your bestie that you've got no intention of cashing this in for a tag title opportunity? Let's have a title match right here, right now, said Lyra. Lola is ready to go. A referee's making his way down. Elektra attacks Lyra. I mean, it was quite clear that Lola has got a sight set on Lyra. Surely Elektra's getting the hint, is she not? Tatum has made her way down, so... Are we going to get Elektra and Lola against Tatum and Lyra? We'll take you on any time, said Tatum. I love Tatum wearing that Lyra Valkyria t-shirt. Okay, backstage, we've got... Is this metaphor? Watching the moment that Briggs and Jensen split up. Josh Briggs. You think we broke up because of you? Don't touch the cup. Don't touch the cup. Josh Briggs wants a rematch for the Heritage Cup. Oro Mena is going to be stepping up to Josh Briggs. That match coming up next. So Mitchell said, who do you think is someone who will be a future WWE Hall of Famer that no one's talking about? I think R-Truth could be a Hall of Famer. I think that's a really hard question because I think, to be honest, who won't be in the Hall of Fame? I've said before, if you look at Queen Shamel going in and you look at, say, Coco Beware going in, right? And there's other ones like they put in, was it Chris Von Erich? Who, like, really didn't do much at all. But because he's a Von Erich, they just put him in. Even though he wasn't one of the main Von Erichs. Because a lot of the Von Erichs had passed away and so couldn't actually accept the awards, they ended up putting in some of the Von Erichs that were just not very good. So, like, you know, if Chris Von Erich can find his way in, if Coco Beware is, what, like, you know, going in, if Queen Shamel is going in, you know, there's a steady list there of people which... I don't mind Coco being in. I really don't have a problem with Coco going into it, but... I suppose that he was never, I don't know that he won any championship in WWE. I don't know that he was in WWE for like all that long, in like a 20-year career or anything like that. He contributed, but I don't know. Where do you draw that line? I mean, R-Truth absolutely goes in. I mean, that to me is a no-brainer. But to be honest, Sheamus goes in. I can see... Who won't go in? I mean, honestly, who won't go in? This is where it gets, like, I think right now, BFAB won't go in. Akira Tozawa probably won't go in. But the vast majority of people are going to go in. You know, Bobby Lashley is going to go. In fact, if we call up a roster, WWE superstars, we can just quickly blast down and just go, like, in or not in. Where do we think they are at the moment? And I've got to be honest, I think the vast majority are in. I think the vast majority are in. So, Roman goes in, Seth goes in, Rhea goes in, Io, by the time her career's done, will go in, Gunther will go in, Logan will go in. Finn, Damian, I think when their careers are done, they will go in. You can make an argument for Finn because of his longevity and first ever Universal Champion. Damian, you know, he's still got plenty of time ahead of him. He's won Money in the Bank. He's been involved in massive storylines. He doesn't, I don't know that he's done enough to go in yet, but then if we use the Queen Shamel rule, I really don't know. I really don't know. Kane and Katana have really only just come up, but they've already won the women's tag titles. These NXT guys, not obviously going to focus on those. Adam Pearce, again, if he has the longevity, I could see him going in. We've put in Mean Genes and Finkles and people like that. Like, if Adam Pearce is still around in like 10 years time, I think he goes in. AJ goes in. We haven't seen anything from Akam. We haven't seen much from Akira. We haven't seen Alba. I think you can make an argument for Alexa going in. You know, multiple time women's champion. Lish Taylor, obviously NXT. Amari NXT. Andre Chase NXT. Andy Shepherd. Haven't seen loads from. Angel Garza has been down in NXT, just come back up. Street Profits, not yet, but again, the Queen Shamel rule. Apollo, no, not yet. Ashanti, no. Asuka, yes. Theory, I think, goes in when his career's done. Ava, NXT. Axiom, NXT. BFAB, we said no. Baron Corbin, I think, will go in because of his longevity. Bailey will go in. Becky will go in. Beth, I think, is in. Bianca will go in. Big E will go in with the New Day. Blair, NXT. Boa, NXT. Bobby will go in. Booker's in. Braun is an interesting one. He probably should go in using the Queen Shamel rule. Brock obviously goes in. Bron's NXT. Bronson's an interesting one. He may go in eventually. Depends where his career goes. Creeds could definitely go in as well. So, we won't go through the whole roster. We only made it to C, but I think you can see the vast majority are going in. We are back from commercial break. Here's Lexis King. So we've got Ava, we've got Dragon Lee, Lexis King on the scene as well. So contract is signed. Okay, so tonight, Lexis King and Dragon Lee for the North American Championship. Metaphor are making their way down to the ring, so I think this is going to be the Briggs Oro Mena match. I like their intro. Metaphor making their way down. Defcon said Team Beast Ballin' sounds cool. Team Beast Ballin'. We keep on ballin'. So, Oro Mena making his way to the ring. He's going to be taking on Josh Briggs. Dragon Lee against Lexis King. Yeah, just got signed. If any division could use a mid-card women's title, it's NXT. They've got women, and having no tag titles leaves a void, says A. Jobson. Gerald said, I don't know why, but I like Lexis King's scumbag personality a lot. Is Dragon Lee still part of the main roster? I believe he is, yes. I believe he is. Dragon Lee called Pillman Jr. a dog says Jim. Jim, shout out to you. Right, we are underway with this match. Oro Mena versus Josh Briggs. Big clubbing blows in there by Briggs. I think Booker T just said that Josh Briggs had shown him something. Briggs going against the ropes. Shoulder tackle as Oro Mena goes down. Trini said, here's one that people might not agree with. MVP for the Hall of Fame, and I wonder what people would think of that. Yeah, I think he goes in. I think he goes in on longevity. He was a United States champion, a very good United States champion as well. Oro Mena slammed down, gets pulled out of the ring. So he started in Deep South, developmental for WWE in 2005. He ended up leaving in 2010. So he had a run of 5 years. He came back in 2018 and came back again in 2020. So, you know, to be honest, he's starting to clock up to around about like 10 years. Kind of coming up to that kind of 10-year periods. And he was used a lot during that kind of 06 to 2010, that kind of 4-year periods. He was on TV a lot. He is a 2-time United States champ, 1-time tag team champ. And again, I think for me, if I was being honest, I wouldn't put him in. But the standard is so low. It really becomes more like, who do you not put in and why? You kind of have to find reasons why you don't put them in now. They really have lowered that standard, you know, over the years. Kicks coming in by Oro Mena. So if MVP was to get inducted, wouldn't honestly, it wouldn't bat an eyelid. Josh Briggs in the corner. Oro Mena, springboard, and a kick coming in. Briggs goes down. Going for the cover. 2. Shoulder up. Do you know who's probably a Hall of Famer if we let Tori Wilson in? Maurice. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the whole Miz and Maurice TV show, the fact that she had her own career in her own right, but, you know, she was in some high profile. She was in that mixed tag match with Cena and Nikki Bella as well. Right. Yeah. Oh, hello. Distractions by Metaphor. Oro Mena tries to go in the corner. Big clothesline there. 1, 2, 3. Josh Briggs picks up the win in a relatively short match, to be honest. Relatively short match. So, let's go and get people's thoughts. Not a great deal to this one. Didn't outstay its welcome, I will say that. Metaphor tried to cheat, but it was overcome by Josh Briggs. And he was able to secure victory. So, Briggs in the corner with his arm in the air. As we go backstage, OTM. Tony and Stax take on OTM after the break. This girl's with them quite a bit now. I don't know her name. Do like her, though. Hey, how you doing? She's got that, is it New Jersey type accent? Jim said MVP once beat Chris Benoit in 2 straight falls in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Honestly, I think WWE is coasting till the Rumble, says A. Jobson. K-Dub said Briggs is going to win that cup and drink some cold beer out of it. Johnny said, I wonder why MVP and Omos have been. We haven't really seen them. They're just using Omos as an attraction. So they bring him in for, like, Rumbles, WrestleMania. You know, if we need a big, imposing opponent, we need a problem for someone, we bring in Omos. He's not someone that we're going to use on a regular basis. And to be honest, that's the best way to use him. It's the best way to use him. You want to keep him feeling special. The only problem is when he comes in, he keeps losing. He lost to Brock at WrestleMania. The year before, he lost to Braun in Saudi. Like, he takes too many L's. He should be getting some wins against some of these people. You know, really, he should have beaten Braun. If he was then being built up for a match with Brock at WrestleMania. Losing to Brock is not a problem. Many people do lose to Brock. That's fine. But you know, you've got to give him some big high-profile wins if you want him to feel like a threat. Because at the moment, he just feels like a big, cuddly teddy bear. Just ain't a problem for anyone to get past, you know? He's a bit lumbering, he's a bit slow, he doesn't have the widest moveset, and do you know what I mean? There's definitely something there. Something. I mean, he's a tall guy that is interested in learning, but I don't think we're ever going to get Bryan Danielson out of him. Let's put it that way. And if you think about Andre, Andre worked so well because back in those days, you know, they didn't put him on TV all the time. What they were doing is, like, taking him around all the different territories. So he would be in your area for a month or so, and then he'd be gone. And you wouldn't see him for, you know, a good year or however long, because he'd go to the next territory. And the thing with Big Show is that Big Show was always there, always present, and he lost that thing that made him so special. Whereas Andre was able to keep his. He was able to remain an attraction, because he was not overexposed, so it's really not a problem. They are limiting Omos's appearances. And Omos certainly is no Andre the Giant, but I think you can get something out of him. I think you can get something out of him, you know? But he's got to get some wins. He's got to get some wins. Right, we're at commercial break. The girl with stacks is called Adriana Rizzo, said Spurs Gamer. Adriana Rizzo. Okay, thank you. Adriana Rizzo. I'm just thinking I won't remember that. Adriana Rizzo. I like her. I mean, I haven't seen her wrestle. But I like her character. I think there's definitely a foundation there that you can build on. She's been involved in quite a lot of skits. She's got quite a thick accent, which I think she puts on. And I think we can transition her to being an active wrestler quite comfortably. Oh, hello. Right, we're going back to the stables. Here we're seeing Tiffany. Oh, my God. She's got a hose and it's going everywhere. There's Fallon's just watching as Tiffany's doing different jobs. Smile on Fallon's face. Tiffany said, can we go and sit down? No, that was task 1. We're going to have to wash the horse again. That's all you, Buttercup. She was like, oh, don't call me Buttercup. She's like, that's the horse's name. So here's the horse. Bucket of water and a sponge. Feel like Tiffany's probably no stranger to horses. I'd imagine as she was growing up, she probably had a horse. If she's a spoiled princess. She's one, the way she's like sponging the horse. Okay, now I'm done. I need a shower. I need new clothes. It's been a long day. You can't put a clean horse in a dirty stall. So I'm looking some stalls now. I don't know if I'm watching wrestling or if I'm watching, what was that program with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie? Remember that show? I feel like I'm watching that. Well, she is being put through it. Okay, now we've got... Is this OTM? Oh, yeah, with their Grand Theft Auto entrance. Okay, so I asked for your thoughts on Oro Mena against Josh Briggs. We've got them coming in. Ah, there we go. This is like The Simple Life with Paris Hilton. That's the show. The Simple Life. Yes. Same wavelength. 27%. Great. 14%. I've actually got the DVD of that, you know. I have no idea why. I must have lost my flipping mind. I don't know. I'm just an idiot kid. Have I got it? I do have it. I don't think I've got it here. Have I got it? I'll keep an eye on. I've got lots of DVDs along here. I feel like it is one of these. But yeah, I've got the... I don't know. I think they did like 3 or 4 seasons of it. I've got the first one. Oh, it's really annoying. It's one of those that I feel like I've seen as well. Doesn't matter. You can Google it. It ain't worth it, to be honest. Okay, there's Tony and Stacks. I need to change over the graphics on screen as we're sure to go to a commercial break again very soon. Tony and Stacks versus OTM. Coming down with this Ariana Rizzo. Tag team titles on the line. Bronco Nima, Lucian Price, and Scripps wrestle with Andy's favorite, Adriana Rizzo. She's got a little bit of like bunny about her from AEW. Sort of get that little bit like that sort of look to her. I think it's the shape of her face. It's quite round. First of 2 championship matches tonight because Dragon Lee defends his title later. So we are just past the halfway point. We will do halftime scores as soon as we get to the next commercial break, which should be in a few minutes. I watch a YouTuber called Wild Bear, and there was a bug called a cock Kaffer. Okay. Well, I will keep an eye out for that. I don't know that we have them round here. Who knows? WWE AEW fan said Tony and Stacks against OTM. She's not hard to look at, says K Dub. James said, all this Tony Khan meltdown BS again is overshadowing the fact that Dynamite is meant to be for Brody Lee. Is it? What, this week's episode, is it? Is it a Brody Lee special, is it? Okay, we've got all 4 guys in the ring right now. Price driving Stacks into the corner. Intoxicated said, I like her as the agent with the cruise or whatever, but the girl is cool. Izzy, Kiney, and Tiffany make a good faction. Kick coming in there by Price. Tony is in. He hurls Stacks at Tony. It drags him over. Going for the cover. 2. Kick out. Kick out. The Simple Life with Tiffany and Fallon Henley. It does feel that way. I feel like the segments are a little bit long and they're okay. I think you know that Tiffany's going to be like a Barbie and like all of that. I mean, you sort of expect that. I don't think we've really had anything that's gone beyond that, if you know what I mean. It's a bit like our Truth segment. You know it's going to be good. But I mean, that had some like the Tom and Nick Mysterio line really got people. And the rib on the Judgment Day pay-per-view from back in the day, like the take on that, that really got people. Him being inserted in the different moments, him being there when Rhea won the Rumble, and being there when Damian won Money in the Bank, and you know they did stuff that really was brilliant, that really worked. I don't know that the Tiffany Fallon stuff, I don't know that we've done anything that's gone beyond what you would expect. So it's okay, but it ain't no R-Truth segment. Okay, we are at commercial break right now, so we know what that means.
Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. I really want to know your halftime scores. Put it in the chat. Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. Are you happy? It's the halftime scores. Are you happy or you sad? Halftime scores, everybody, it's the halftime scores. I should get that recorded. If I got it recorded, I could just press play then. Just sit here like this.
James said it would be the 4-year anniversary of his AEW debut at Daly's place during the pandemic. But are they actually doing anything for that? Is there like a tribute to him this week or something? I don't look, to be honest. I'll have a look. Rather than ask the question, I'll have a look. Someone here has put see, this is what happens now. Elite Rockers said Dynamite 801, Collision 402, Rampage 406. Rampage did 406. Total 16. Jinder's segment last week on Raw 2.1. And then a very upset Tony Khan. Patrick the Heel having a pop as well at Tony. Jinder is 2-8 in his last 10. Garcia was 3-7 in his last 10 when he had a title match with MJF. Book Daniel Garcia better, by the way. You do the same dumb shiz too. Oh, hello. Not seen this from Tony. Reading would be your friend. Oh my god, it's still going? We're watching NXT and this is still going. So, do you remember the Abaddon thing we saw earlier? Tony responded. I never saw this. God damn. I was not one of the 653,000. Right? No, Eric, not true at all. Abaddon returned to AEW. Then they won. Oh, yeah, she's a they, isn't she? They are a they. They won a 4-way match on TNT against other great wrestlers to earn a title shot, which is completely different than someone going a full year losing every match they're in and getting a title shot without a single win. So they returned and were put into a 4-way match to earn a title shot. So we really are arguing about one match. We really are arguing about the fact that there's one, he didn't win one match. Like, basically, this comes down to the fact that Jinder should have won a number 1 contenders fatal 4-way on Raw in the main event. That's what it comes down to. I like this response by Jason. Tony, get some help. Stop it. Get some help. Stop it. Man. Jay's pointing out that Jinder did actually win a match as well here. Lol. What is it? It is NXT New Year's Evil 2023 on January 10th. Jinder pins... I don't even remember this. Jinder defeats Julius Creed on the 10th, so that was a year ago. I mean, I don't know if we can count that, to be honest. I don't know that we can count that. Right, I need to have a look at some of these scores, don't I? Seems silly to ask for your scores and then ignore them. Danny said 625. Big Time said 7. Mr. Quake said 7.5. Marty said 625. 1 Minute Wrestler said 7. Seth said 6. Trini said 675. Mia Nissim said 6. Big Time said it's a fun show. It's an easy watch. Aubrey said 5.5. WWE AEW fan said 5. Draco said 6. Mr. Billy Clark said 6.9. Ray said 7.5. Kieran said 6.75. A. Jobson said 7. Miss Clown said 5.5. AJG said, I made nachos and they were so good I ate them fast. So I made more because I am still hungry. Oh, I quite fancy nachos now. Gerald said 6. Travis said 7. Cherie said 6. James said, don't know. Zay said halftime score. Steven said 7. Al said 6.5. Mr. Quake said NXT kicking butts. K-Dub said Tony's getting buried online. Irish said, I give it about a 5 or a 6. 10 says Anthony. Dro said 6. 6 from Terry. 8 from Zay. Anthony with a 10. Boomers with an 8.10. Andy with a 8.10. I love that from Boomers. So, 9? Or do you mean 8.10? Might be 8.10, but if it's 8.10, I think that's a 9. Tony's down. Nima tried to get the pin, but shoulder up from Tony D'Angelo. Boomer said Maddie Rankowski is in the crowd. No way. Maddie Rankowski is in the crowd. That is insane. Stomp by Price looking for the cover. Looking for a suplex against the ropes goes. Oh, clothesline. Nima goes to the outside. Price goes to the outside. I think the big thing that's distracting me is the fact that Tony just looks like the Mountie. Oh, I love that. I love that. Lovely, like, hip toss. To the outside. Hurls Stacks over the top rope. Tony and Stacks working really well together here as Price goes against the ropes. They pick him up, plant him down. That could be it. 2. Oh, Nema makes the save. Nema makes the save. Scripts on the outside. Imagine Tony trying to hinder the Jinder is what finally breaks Tony, and AEW gets a new booker. My prediction for the Dusty Cup is Bron and Baron, said WWE and AEW fan. Trini said, everyone has got the right to share their opinions, but can we please avoid attacking either Jinder or Tony on a personal level? No wishing death on people, you lot. Yeah, no death wishes. Which I think, in all fairness, is a fair rule. Tony with a pin. It's only wrestling, says Trini. I think that's a fair point from Trini. Let's not wish death on anyone. As a community, let's try and aim for that as the level that we should reach for. Yeah. I think that'd be a good look for us. Imagine newcomers coming along going, do you know what? Not once did anyone in that community wish death on me. I like it here. I'm gonna stay. These are my kind of people. Don't panic. Oh my God. Oh no, it's back. It came back. I don't know. I don't even know what that was. I hadn't actually pressed mute. It just stopped working. Yeah, no, I was just saying, I don't get what that segment was. Because Lexis is a heel. And he just went up to Obafemi. And he just said, I think I'm looking at the next NXT champion. He said, with this, I'm going to be the next NXT North American champion. But I think I'm looking at the next NXT champion. Why would he be so nice? Unless he's going to, like, you know, use him, stab him in the back or something like this. I was just saying, like, wouldn't it have made more sense if he'd have said to him, I'm going to win the North American title, and then I'm coming for that NXT championship. You want to get out of my way, big man. Something like that. That would make more sense for, like, what Lexis King's character is like. So... I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't really understand that backstage segment. I mean, the sound went. You missed out on all of them musings. It's hard to know whose fault it is as well, innit? I don't feel like it was mine. Oba was eyeballing his contract. The sound is back, said Dro. Come on. Let's go. Oba is the Omos that WWE can work with. Irish Rebel said Trini is a sweetheart. Oh. Trini said, Daze, I think I caused the stands to hack you. My bad. Oh, what with the thing? With the sound, maybe that. Perhaps I was hacked. Oh my God. Perhaps I'm not even here anymore. Perhaps this is what you're seeing is AI. Don't know. I don't know. It's my fault, Daze. It was my bad. It's not just wrestling. It's life, damn it. I know. That's true. God, Trini, why can't you just allow people to wish death on others? Huh? What's wrong with you? People have been at work all day. They just want to come home and wish death on other people. That's all they want to do. Right. We're backstage with Gallus. Wishing death on someone is pathetic. Even I don't go that far, says James. Here's Rich. Don't worry about me, Joe. Don't worry about me, Joe. You should be worried about them. You should be afraid of what I'm capable of, says Joe Coffey. I love Joe Coffey in that jacket. He reminds me so much of Paddy Considine out of Dead Man's Shoes, which is a film I love. You've got to watch that film. Dead Man's Shoes. It is intense, though. You need to know it's intense, and it is for a mature audience. I don't want none of you kids watching it. But it reminds me a lot of the main character out of that. Okay, Gigi is making her way out now. 34 minutes to go. So, that last match, OTM against Tony and Stax. Get in your scores. Get in your scores. What did you think? Get in your scores. Hey, Jobson said, did you see the 8-man tag that got announced for Dynamite? No. I do not engage with Dynamite he. Gareth said, Tony Khan starts World War III. Well, I mean, I don't know that it's going to go that far. Let's hope not, shall we? I've seen a lot of documentaries on World War II. I am not too eager to see a repeat of it. In fact, I doubt we ever would, because what with like nuclear weapons now, would there even be a World War III? Trini could slap me anytime, said James. Oh, here we go. Dude, I would slap you if we weren't online. Listen, whatever little kinky side quest, whatever little kinky side hustle you've got going on, right, where you're slapping community members for money, I don't need to know about it. I don't need to know about it. Filthy. GG going against the ropes as Cora Jade moves out the way. Mistress Trini. That's what she is. GG versus Cora. Big Time said, Daze, why did Lexis King look so over the top and finger with the way he dressed in that segment is really becoming channel changing? I did not get that segment. I can't answer. I don't know. It's quite unusual for us to watch a wrestling segment and go, what's going on? What's this? I don't even understand why we're saying what we're saying and why we're doing what we're doing. I cannot get a read of whatever we're trying to do with Lexis King. Lexis King is so hit and miss. I actually thought his match at the recent Deadline event, I think it was okay. I thought it was okay. I thought in the build he was pretty cringe. His promo was bad when he first came in. But his match at the Deadline show was okay. Then he got added to this tournament. He didn't win it. Now he's got a title shot. He said some stuff to Oba, which I didn't really understand why he was saying it. Just don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think we've picked up a hot talent in Brian Pillman Jr. But WWE clearly saw something there, and I don't know, perhaps they can bring it out of him. So, man, they just showed a replay of that Cora Jade knee strike. Sounded pretty nasty when it connected. Bang. Cora gives me Mandy Rose vibes. Johnny said, Cora Jade, I want her to go to the main roster. Kieran said, I can't wait for Friday to see Roman Reigns respond to the Fatal 4-Way at the Rumble. He's responded. I mean, it wasn't much of a response, but they did actually put out a video. I had someone criticize that. They were like, why have you called this unseen when this is a video clip on the YouTube channel? I'm like, because not everyone looks at all the videos on the YouTube channel. Like, if it wasn't shown during SmackDown or during NXT, like the actual broadcast that most normal people will sit down and watch, right? You can't expect everyone to go to the YouTube channel and catch up with the exclusive interviews and all this kind of stuff. So if it ain't shown on the broadcast, then to me, I'm classing it as a good chunk of people ain't seen it. And there was a one where Roman actually gets spoken to by Paul Heyman and told about the triple threat that's ended in, and now is going to be a fatal 4-way. So they have put that clip out. It's not much to it. Roman's face just sort of it's a win for Cora Jade, by the way. Let's end this poll so we don't get them all clashing. But Cora Jade picks up the victory. So, yeah, he basically said to the wise man, sort this. The wise man won't be able to sort it. I think we might be a bit pushed for time, you know. I think we might be a bit pushed for time because we really did not spend long on that match. And we've not spent long on the aftermath of it either. We've just gone straight to commercial break. Okay, so what did you think of that last match? Vote, 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 vote. Vote, 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 vote. 13. All-time 10. Boom. I've got all the scores written down from Raw, from NXT. Obviously, we looked at those scores. We're updating them as we're going along. So, you know, we're doing some good stuff. We should have a lovely list. I wonder if we could even do videos at the end of each month, like these were the best matches of the month. That'd be kind of good, wouldn't it? The world's our oyster, man. The world is our oyster. Big Time said, when I see Lexis King's mannerisms, his character with the way he talks, it doesn't feel like WWE is not toning it down and giving him a little bit of creative freedom. He's flopping it himself. Yeah, I agree. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. Cora needs a new move. Her finisher shouldn't be a boring DDT. Huh? Job, son. DDT is one of the most awesome moves in the history of wrestling. People used to freak out for a DDT like they do the RKO now. DDT's sick. If you protect it, you can pretty much have anything be a finishing move. You know? If you can protect it and make it that when you hit it, it really puts people away. DDT's sick. Oh, this is a good advert for a Alundra Blair. I've seen this documentary already. I haven't seen it for years, though. I'd definitely watch it again. Alundra finally tells all. I need her book, actually. I do need a book. She's got a book out, Medusa. Medusa book. Huh? £23? That's expensive. It's $9.99 on Kindle. Do they do signed ones? I'd definitely get a signed one. Yeah, they do a book. The Woman Who Would Be King. Definitely want to read that. She's someone that I think had a really big effect on me as I was like coming through and like really loving wrestling. I've spoken before about the fact that she is the person that I think really more than anyone else instilled my love of women's wrestling at a very young age. Alundra Blaze, Medusa. They're talking about SmackDown and they're talking about Backlash. And I'm ashamed to admit I have not read this book. Okay, we're backstage with OTM. OTM. Who's she? You are better than that. Who's got Riz? Who's this? We found Riz's opponent. Right, we've got Hank and Tank. Who's got Fizz? Oh, she wants some pop. She wants some soda. Right, Hank and Tank coming up next. Hank and Tank versus... Who are they facing? Oh, Axiom. And Nathan Frazer. Cora's DDT just isn't impressive, says A. Jobson. Well, That is fair enough. That is fair enough. I will accept that. If it's that she doesn't do the DDT very well, different kettle of fish. Jada Parker would fit well with OTM, says James. Gigi lost a lot of feuds now. She beat JC, but then lost to Thea, Blair, and now Cora, says A. Jobson. Made by Dawn said, my favorite wrestler is Luna Vachon. Okay. One of the bests, even compared to some of the men. Okay, but what matches would you say people should check out them? Luna Vachon is someone that I think is very interesting. She was a very interesting character. And you know, there is an early Raw where she, in 93, I want to say it's like, I don't know, 10 weeks in, something like that. So it's probably maybe around March, April time, where there is a real cat fight between her and Sensational Sherry, and they go, man. They don't hold anything back. It's like, you look at it now and you're like, damn. And that's with like 2024 eyes. But like, going back to like 1993, like, had some real venom behind it. It was really good. Really, really good. So I really like Luna. I think she had a very good look, but I can't tell you any great Luna matches to go and check out, to be honest. I genuinely don't know loads about her career. But yeah, she was around at the same time. Do you know who will know? Cage match. Cage match or no? Just out of interest, because how many matches did Luna have in WWE? I remember. Daughter of Darkness. The Daughter of Darkness. Let's go. When was the last match? 2007? Let's make it a bit bigger. So around, look at all these. Just... Here we go, 94. Alondra Blaze and Heidi Lee Morgan against Bull Nakano and Luna Vachon. Tag matches. They did it on Raw in 94, that as a tag match. I don't know that I've ever seen that tag match. 26th of September, 1994. I might have to go and check that out. House shows. WWF Summerfest in Deutschland. House show. She has a 3-minute match with Alondra Blaze. House show. Yeah, I mean, honestly, she doesn't have many matches. I mean, she's got a lot of house show matches. She doesn't have many matches in WWE, does she? House show. Obviously, WrestleMania. 6-minute, which I don't think we can class that as good. Bam Bam and Luna against Dink and Doink. It's an acquired taste, that match at WrestleMania 10. And then she does this match that's 3 minutes against Alondra Blaze. And then I've not seen this 5-minute one. I would definitely check that out. And to be honest, I've not seen her in ECW. So there's a lot of ECW here, which I would definitely be interested in looking at. So yeah, my knowledge of Luna is not very good, to be honest. Not very good. Hold it, man. She didn't actually do loads as well before WWF. Not according to this. Axiom to the outside. Nathan Frazer goes into, I think Axiom. Surely Axiom going to pick up the victory here with Nathan Frazer. Oh! Hank connects with Axiom. Axiom inside cradle 2. Kick out. Oh, big knee strike by Axiom. Kick coming inside of the heads. Tank goes down. Axiom. Bottom rope. Nathan Frazer in the corner. That's a long way. Ooh. Oh, just made it. 1, 2, 3. Just made it. I do know that Luna was being mistreated by Vince because of Sable. Even Medusa wanted to give her title to Luna, but Luna didn't want her to because she didn't want her to get into trouble, says Suzanne. Miss Dal Jr. said a DDT with a cross-face clutch could be Cora's finisher. So there we go. It's a win for that tag team. Oh my God. So many there's too many matches. None of these matches matter. It's just another so-so match, innit? And what was I doing? A polls? So next one is Tiffany again. She's having a bad day. She's having a bad day. There's only 17 minutes left. Look how dirty she is. They're all laughing at her. I feel sorry for Tiffany now. Fallon said she lasted longer than I thought. You're Tiffany Stratton. You can do this. Went to heave. Why are they standing around just watching her? How did it feel to do some real work? This was hell. It was the worst day of my life. I pity you. I'm finished. Oh, that's not gone well. She steps in poop and then falls into a trough. Oh dear. Oh dear. Bad day. Okay, Dragon Lee then is going to be taking on Lexis King. Tiffy time, said Dead Man Talking. Tiffy time. Poor Tiffany, said Dro. Suzanne, good night. Eric said, this is hilarious. Hoping that Tiffany versus Fallon feud is finally over now. Those two need to move on to better things, says Vin. Tiffany is absolutely no good. It's been a very bad day, said Gerald's. Jim said that segment was all time. Lol. Deadman Talking said Tiffy is money. James said she truly stood in the shiz. She did. She did. NXT has been solid, said A. Jobson, but there have been 2 back-to-back quick matches which has brought down the score for me. Dusty Classic continues next week, says Boomers. William said, oh wow, serious idea. We could bully Daze with sarcasm and a language that only we understand. We could make Daze cry. Listen, however you get your kicks. However you get your kicks. If that's going to float the boat for you, go for it. Go for it, my friends. Big Time said, do you think that Mandy takes some blame in why Gigi and JC have floundered? There wasn't really any point keeping the group together, and it feels like WWE and Mandy let them down. I don't think so. Only because they are professional wrestlers that had, well, certainly in Gigi's case, when she was Priscilla Ketley, she had a run as a single star. So, I mean, Mandy and Toxic Attraction had built them up to quite a big level. And is it Mandy's fault that they weren't able to capitalize on that? I don't think you can really blame others for your failings, you know? I think that it's JC and Gigi's failing to capitalize on it, right? And to be honest, I mean, we'd have to go back through the whole story to go, well, this wasn't quite right, that wasn't quite right. I can't really do that off the top of my head. I thought their feud was okay, but seemingly what followed after was very underwhelming for both of them. JC actually felt like, because she was the one that turned on Gigi, she felt like she was going to be the girl that pulled the strings. JC really felt like she was the girl that had it worked out, like it was her plan, you know, and we were just going to watch it unfold. So to see her now faffing around with Chase U and Thea Hale is like, well, this is the girl that split up from Gigi to do what? This. So I sort of feel like it's creative that didn't really have the follow-up plans. It's Gigi and JC for not being able to make more out of what they were given after that feud, you know? It's a bit like the Virgil syndrome. You know, Virgil broke away from the $1 Million Man. His feud with $1 Million Man was electric, right? People were really invested. And then it all just went downhill after, didn't it? They didn't have any follow-up after. And you can blame creative for that, but you can also blame Virgil for not making, you know, if you're going to get given lemons, you have to, in this job, it is part of your job to make lemonade. With whatever you are given, make the absolute most of what you're given. Sometimes you can be given absolute garbage that you just cannot do anything with. And I think in those situations, that's where the talent can look at themselves and go, do you know what? This wasn't my fault. I did everything I could. That's called the Red Rooster syndrome. You know, Terry Taylor was given the Red Rooster character. And, like, you know, he gave it a good go, but he never really believed in it. But he gave it a good go, and I don't know that he could have got more out of it. Bruce Pritchard thinks he could, but I don't know that he could. So I think it's one of those. I can't really blame Mandy Rose for it now. I can't blame Mandy Rose for it. I think if you're a professional wrestler, this is your job. You have to maximize and make the most out of whatever you are given. And, you know, Mandy ended up going, Toxic Attraction split apart. It was a decent little feud. And then it just fizzled out. Here's Anofi and Blade. They're in this tournament. Oblongbox said, in a very short period of time, Tiffany feels like she's been a pro wrestler for like 10 years. She's had the cinematic, the wrestling, and the backstage promo mastered. Her in-ring promo needs work, says Oblongbox. Who's she? She's like Thea Hale's older sister. If you need a program, I'm your girl. Who are these women? Why do they keep just popping up? Just shoving women, random women into different segments now. And we're not, I don't even know if we're introducing them. Did we even catch her name? Just shove them in. NXT Women's Championship Battle Royal. Let's go. Right, here's Lexis King then. That's Wishes Thea Hale. Yes. I swear, I thought it was Thea Hale when she first came. I was like, God, she's different. She seems a bit taller. She got some new tattoos. Right, Lexis King making his way down to the ring. We've got another poll that we're ending. Bang! And we are ending. So, okay, good gets 58%. Great gets 17%. I'm going to add these straight after. We would normally do Unseen tonight. To be honest, I think the Tony thing's the big talking point. We've already done a video on that. Probably save the Unseen for tomorrow. Lexis against Dragon Lee. We have really very little time. Very little time. These two are going to have to bang. Edward, shout out to you. Said, I hope you are doing well. I am just up. I don't know why. It's a bit early. But at least I'm up for college. Have a great day. Dude, it's 5 to 3 in the morning. There's early and then there's go back to bed. It's 5 to 3. Right, Dragon Lee against Lexis King. That was the girl from the breakout tournament, Brinley Reese. Don't know, mate. Brinley Reese. Dragon Lee. I might be going to the American Legion Post 100 in Lake Station, Indiana this Saturday to see AR Dub Pro Indiana Rampage. Well, Carmen live too. I hope you don't. I hope you miss it. I mean it as well. It's the funnier answer, right? Headlock takeover by Dragon Lee. Danny said, what are you going to do for the Australian show? Are you going to stay up late or are you going to get up early? Well, I don't know when it's on. Don't know. I am going to live my best life. Don't know. I don't know. I've not looked into it. I will probably start streaming super early. Don't know. What are you doing, Wrestle with Andy? What are you doing? Edward said, I know, but if I go to sleep, there's a chance I won't get up for college. Really? What are you on about? Have you heard of alarms? Huh? For Beach, Kevin said, I got drunk and I bought tickets to see Collision. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, you'll have lots of room. And very little wait at the bar. At least they will also be filming Battle of the Bands. Oh, well, there we go. There we go. So, that'll be all right. 2 shows for the price of one, really. Can't argue at that, can you? Hey, do you know what? All joking aside, going and watching some live wrestling, right? And having a few drinks and, it's a good night out. I mean, yeah, all right, it's Collision, but good night out. I don't even know who's on Collision. I would say, oh, you'll see such and such, or you'll see such. I have no idea. I don't even know who's on Collision these days. I think Sky Blue, maybe? Andrade? No, he's gone. Miro? Adam Copeland? Could he be on the show? Christian? Tony Khan? USA Network? Jinder Mahal? Do Do you think Jinder's got no chance of going to AEW now? This is probably bad for Jinder, because Jinder now can't negotiate a new contract, can he? When his contract comes up, he can't be like, oh, I'm going to go to AEW, because WWE would be like, no, Tony doesn't like you. Of course you're not going to go to AEW. Here's a contract, we'll give you £100 a month. Take it or leave it, we don't give a flip. Mitchell said, I started watching Storage Wars again. Who's that cute girl on Storage Wars? She's cute. We all know the one. We all know the one. I don't know that she's as cute now, but she was cute like 20 years ago. Carmen said, Indiana is my home state and the state I was born in. I think Ober cashes in on Lee or Lexis because he ain't ready for Elia. Let him be an unstoppable mid-card guy like Gunther, says A. Jobson. Edward said, Daze, question for you, what's the best Raw and SmackDown? You can only show one show of each brand. Don't know, to be honest. They all just sort of merge into one. I don't know that I don't really have a running list of like favorite Raw. I mean, like, I suppose the ones that stand out would be the anniversary shows. Those would be ones that stand out, you know, like Raw 25, Raw 1000, you know, the different anniversary ones. I can think of brilliant matches, like the Brock Iron Man match and the like different bits during the Attitude Era. But whole episodes, it's very difficult because I don't keep a running tab of them. So I think to answer your question, if I could only show someone one Raw, one SmackDown, I think I'm probably going to grab a Raw from after WrestleMania because they're pretty wild. You know, the from a few years ago. Maybe the one where Paige shows up, you know, and challenges AJ Lee and we get a new shock champion. Or like when Dolph cashed in or something like that. I might be going for one of those types of Raws. And SmackDown, we've never really had a SmackDown after WrestleMania, so it might have to be an anniversary show for that. It might have to be an anniversary show. Are you saying Mandy's release wasn't abrupt and that Plan's Toxic Attraction didn't get scrapped and call-ups didn't get derailed? The group was ready to move up. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it wasn't abrupt and that plans weren't scrapped. What I'm saying is that can you blame Mandy for Toxic Attraction not getting called up as a group? Yeah, you probably could, but there was nothing stopping them putting Toxic Attraction up as a tag team, was there? So if you want to blame Mandy, I think you've got to look at WWE Creative and go, why didn't you just keep them as a tag team? They didn't need Mandy to go up as a women's tag team. So, yeah, if you want to blame her for Toxic Attraction not getting to the main roster, that's a different conversation. But I think blaming her for them stalling, I don't agree with that. I think that creative and the wrestlers themselves have to take responsibility because you're always going to have things like this that happen. You know, you're always going to have opponents that you're meant to be facing that pick up an injury, like what happened with Trick. He was meant to face Ilya Dragunov, didn't happen. He ends up facing Grayson Waller instead. You've got to make that work. You may get given a gimmick that you don't believe in and you don't like. A la the Red Rooster situation we spoke about. You've got to make that work, right? Whatever, that's your job. It's funny because a lot of people think that, like, oh man, I want to be a wrestler so I can do this and do that. But to be honest, WWE in the past have chosen your gimmicks for you. And still do to this day, you know, choose your entrance music. And yeah, you get certain say, of course you do. But, you know, there's a lot of people that get given certain characters and get told if they're going to be face or heel or, you know, Undertaker, for example. You know, that was an idea that Vince had, and he needed someone to play that character, and along came Mark Calloway. Hello, is that Undertaker? You know, that famous phone call. So, you have to make it work. So, I just can't agree with blaming Mandy Rose for JC Jane now struggling, and for Gigi struggling. I think blaming Mandy Rose for Toxic Attraction not going up as a faction to the main roster, well, you can blame her for that. But that to me is a different conversation to the one which is it Mandy's fault that JC and Gigi are now struggling? And I don't really give her any blame for that. I think that you have to make these things work. Just like Virgil. He was in that feud with $1 Million Man. And after that, it was all flat. Creative didn't have anything to follow up with, and what they did follow up with was flat. Dragon Lee has won this match. It was a quick, nothing throwaway match. Gotta tell you, I know people are like, oh, this episode's been solid. I think it's been a bit underwhelming. There's no matches here that really are standing out. We've not had any matches get to the usual, like, you normally get at least one that bangs. There's been no scores here of anything that's really grabbed anyone's attention. Could Obafemi come and save the day? Obafemi's making his way down. Dragon Lee's just had a match. Is he going to cash it in? Obafemi. Okay, I think, does the bell have to ring? That's normally the rule. Why is he still talking to the ref? Dragon Lee attacks Obafemi, chucks him in the ring. Bell sounded. Okay, it is an NXT North American Championship match. Obafemi against Dragon Lee. Femi's got to win this. He's got to win this. Against the ropes. Collides into Dragon Lee. Picks him up. Oh my God, just hurls him down. Obafemi back in the corner. Dragon Lee. I mean, like, it's a weakened Dragon Lee. But Femi, super kick. I don't know which way this is going to go, man. I don't know which way this is going to go. I feel like Dragon Lee's on SmackDown, so he could definitely drop it to a monster like Obafemi. 1, 2, shoulder up. I feel like Femi should win. He's the fresher competitor. He's a monster. And he's the NXT talent, whereas Dragon Lee is on SmackDown now. Obafemi has got Dragon Lee up on his shoulder. And looking for a power bomb. Connects. 1, 2, 3. We've got a new North American champion. They are all in on Obafemi. Normally, I would be quite down on someone cashing in on like a mid-card belt. But that doesn't really apply when the dude's been on the roster for like 3 weeks. Like, he's done nothing. Any championship is you know, amazing at this stage in his career. And to be honest, you know, if he was to shoot his shot and go for the big championship, you know, is he running the risk of taking a bit too much too soon? You can't have that concern if you're Damian Priest, right? Because you're on the main roster to, like, you know, get the big one, basically. That's the whole point in being there. And certainly if you've been there for a while anyway. But Obafemi's been here for all of 2 minutes, and now he's just won the mid-card championship. So I think there is a difference between winning Money in the Bank and winning a breakout tournament, a tournament that just literally introduces you to the roster for the very first time. That's why I'm not as down on the fact he's just cashed this one in on a mid-card championship, because Obafemi having any gold at this stage in his career is them going all in on him as a character. Big ending to NXT, and I gotta be honest, it's the ending that the show needed, because this show, I just didn't see it. I just didn't think it was that great of an episode. There was no matches that were cooking. There was the Tiffany thing, which I just thought was okay. It really didn't get above okay. Certainly if you compare it to the brilliant R-Truth segment, it was severely lacking when compared to that. So it needed some sort of moment, and thankfully it arrived. Oberfemi is now the new North American champion. Very short match, but I'll still ask for your scores all the same, because it was a match regardless. All time. Great. Okay, good. Looks like we got a new North American champion. Yeah, man. Oberfemi. They're going to give him, I think, well, hopefully a good, healthy run with that belt. And he is hopefully going to go on to achieve some real good stuff with it, and then get ready for a step up when he steps up and goes to that next level, and be ready for that NXT championship. Oberfemi. Definitely feels like a video. Ober-feminists rise up. I like that. Ober-feminists. I love that that was, like, not spoiled as well, you know? I love the fact that that was not spoiled. The chamber is on at 9:30 our time, I think, says Edwards. Oh, well. I'll probably get up at, like, I don't know, midnight or something like that. Get set up, and I mean, we'll probably be starting at like 5. Dragon Lee, a transitional champion. NXT was average, but okay. Oh, I need to do that as well. I'm so busy. I will do it now because I want your votes. I will put the poll up. I want your votes. In fact, I need to do that. Oh, hello. Coming out of me. So good one for yesterday's Raw. Oh my god, I got to do maths. 93% good. Because as we said, good one got 52%, and then I always add what's above it. So I think that works out at 93% good. Okay. What did you score WWE NXT 1-9-24? 5 all time. 4 great. 3 goods. 2 okay. 1 bad. Okay, if you go over to Wrestling Daze clips, which I'm sure you know by now, you can vote on that. You can vote. Yesterday we had... Oh, we dropped. That's a shame. 291. That is a shame. Because we've been getting, look, 473. 336. That was last week's NXT. 336. 437. And then yesterday, 291. So let's see what we can get for NXT, shall we? That is up. If you go to Wrestling Daze clips, the second channel, click on community, and you will then see the poll over there. You can vote right now. And we are saving these results. So this has worked out at, as we said, 93%. 52 add 28 gets us to 80, and the 13 gets us to 93%. So, if we change it over to this and add it live, it is good 93. That puts us down here. Good 93%. And that was for Raw. Bang. There's a lot that I've got to mop up here, isn't there? That's what happens when you've got all these different colours. Yes. Boom. Wow, people weren't really feeling that yesterday, were they? I mean, we're down there in the goods. So good 93%. I'm just double checking that I have got that right. Yeah. Good 93%. The actual good score was 52, so I've put that next to it. So yeah, people weren't really feeling yesterday. I've got a feeling that this NXT might be around here as well, but I don't know, did that Obafemi change the situation at all? Not sure. We'll soon find out. We will soon find out. I do love adding the scores. I think it's good to see what the previous show scored at and add it to the list and see where it ranks. I find that stuff interesting, so if I do, I'm sure someone out there does as well. Right, let's do a video, and we'll chuck this onto the second channel as well. Don't forget, you can still vote on that main event match. Why can't I find... Oh, there it is. Boom. There we go. Breaking news coming out of NXT. We've got a brand new North American champion, and this is someone that many people may not have heard of yet. This is Obafemi, someone who has just won a breakout tournament. So it's a tournament designed to kind of showcase the newest superstars to NXT. He won that tournament. This meant he could cash in his contract for a championship. He cashed it in during the main event tonight, and in the space of just a few weeks, he is now the North American champion. This is the belt that Dragon Lee just had. That's who he won it from. Not that long ago, this was the belt that Dominic Mysterio had. And honestly, the likes of Adam Cole has had this championship in the past. It is the mid-card championship of NXT. So the fact that this guy has won it so quickly says they really do see a lot in him. So Obafemi, I think he's going to be in NXT for a while, certainly throughout this year. Maybe he gets called up at the midway point next year or towards the end of 2025. It really depends how quickly they want to move with him, because they are moving quick already. But this is definitely someone you need to be aware of. He has got future NXT champion written all over him. He's definitely looking good for being called up to the main roster. And who knows? Could this be someone that goes on to main event a WrestleMania one day? Could this be someone that goes on to win a world title one day? Could this be someone that wins a Royal Rumble one day? Probably a bit too soon to be talking about all those things, but wow, I mean, he is achieving a lot in a very short space of time so far. So clearly they like him. They see a lot in him. They see a lot of potential with him. And he is now the NXT North American champion. Boom. Boomy boom. Daze, guess what? I'm going to Money in the Bank in July. William has brought me tickets. Oh, very good. I am very pleased for you, Sonny. When is that? Oh, it's in Canada, isn't it? It's in Toronto. Ah, very good. George, see you later, my friend. And Trey, shout out to you as well. A. Jobson saying good night to Mistress Trini. New champion Oberfemi beats Dragon Lee. I want to get to the chat in a sec. To become NXT North American champion. A. Jobson says Abaddon earned her title match. Let's all meet up. I wonder what is up with Elia. No word of him tonight, and Trick is now in the Dusty Classic. Elia apparently has been suffering from injuries. So even though the injury sustained from Ridge Holland was a work, it's actually something that he's been struggling with. Like, injuries is something that he has built up, you know, which is no surprise whatsoever when you look at his match style. Like, that guy is just taking years off his career every match he has. He just throws it in, like, no half measures. I love him for it, but yeah, I mean, there's a reason why he stands out, because he is doing matches with an intensity that you don't normally see. You don't normally see matches with that kind of an intensity. And I just really think that he is really throwing it in, really committing himself, and some of those knocks have built up. So he is just on the shelf a little bit at the moment. So yeah, we should hopefully see a return relatively soon. But as of right now, they have got Trick and Carmelo going into that Dusty Classic. So I feel like Bron and Baron Corbin against Carmelo and Trick is going to be the final. Who wins? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know which way they'll go. You could make an argument for either of those teams winning, to be honest. Obafemi is 22. I thought he was about 32, said Big Time, but he was born in May of 2001. Well, it makes sense, you know, him being a year older than me. I could believe that. When I grow up, I also want to be like Obafemi. That he is very much set in the path that I would like to follow. Obafemi beats Dragon Lee to become new NXT North American champion. Let's go. Tomorrow night's AEW stream, says William Turd Burglar Hensey. Well, thank you. Yeah, Tommy is streaming tomorrow, but Wrestling Escape Pod will be tomorrow as well. So we was going to do it tomorrow, but no, we was going to do it yesterday. Depends when you're watching this. Tuesday, our normal time, but Tommy couldn't, unfortunately. So then I started to do that Tony Khan video instead, and then start this NXT stream. So I think that the plan is that we'll be doing that tomorrow. So I think we do that 6 till 7 Eastern, and then Tommy will go, I don't know if he'll go straight into his stream or go and grab some snacks first or whatever. But yeah, there'll be a Wrestling Escape Pod tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing. It's weird now not doing AEW on a Wednesday. To be honest, last week wasn't an issue because I was ill. So I think I'm going to probably work on that video of the Cody, Roman, Rock. I think there's a really interesting conversation to be had there. And to be honest, one that we've kind of had. But there are other thoughts floating around on social media. So I think we could probably look at those, react to those, discuss those, and have like a really interesting conversation on it. So I think that video will probably go up on the channel tomorrow. I haven't recorded it, to be honest. I'll probably do that when I get up tomorrow. But I need to do Unseen as well, don't I? Oh my god. Maybe I should do Unseen tonight then. Oh my god. Or maybe I do Unseen tomorrow and I do the Cody one on Thursday. That probably makes more sense, doesn't it? That probably makes more sense. What do you rate the show tonight? Oh, man. 6. That's 6. But honestly, I was probably in the 5s until that Obafemi cash-in at the end. It's not that this was like an awful show, but I think if you... The Tiffany thing was okay, but it never did more than the bare minimum for me. Like, I know what the joke is. She's a posh girl out of her depth, and she's like not meant to be there, and blah 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 blah, all this kind of stuff. So I could definitely see it being a case that she is gonna like be grossed out by all that stuff. So you expect that, and we got that, but it never kicked on from that. So like it was fine, it was entertaining, but I think it also outstayed its welcome a little bit at times. The matches, not much there, to be honest. I mean, there was a bit of action, it was fine, it was serviceable, it was watchable, but I don't know. I mean, like, I would that's the bare minimum, is it not, for NXT? I mean, NXT is like our favourite show. I absolutely love it, and I just sort of feel like this was... Even on paper before, I did say it looked so-so, didn't I? I did say it looked so-so going into it, and I think it turned out to be a so-so show. But the Obafemi cash-in at the end, I think, was interesting. And, yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what next week brings. This Dusty tournament is not that big. Like, next week, we'll do the other 2 first-round matches, and then we're already at the semi-final stage. So it's really not that big of a tournament. This thing ain't going to be sticking around very long. So, yeah, it's not like... I swear they used to do it bigger than this. This feels like a really watered-down Dusty Tag Classic. I swear it used to be bigger and there used to be more matches. I don't remember it being this compact. But, hey-ho. So, yeah, I'd probably go about 6. Intoxicated Drum said, I've not seen AEW in so long. I only saw one match, and that was Cody against his brother. Oh, that was a really good match. A lot of people really have a lot of affection for that. Good match. Johnny said, I meant to say AEW. Why don't you do AEW? I think I have a good idea why. Yeah, I mean, I was very honest in saying that the product was just, for the longest time, stale to me. There was stuff on... I think that I came to realise that there will always be something that keeps me around with AEW. There will always be something. I think the story of 2023 for AEW for me was largely not enjoying what I was watching, but always having certain things that I can go, no, I do like Bryan Danielson, and I do like... Tony Storm, and I do like Swerve, and I do like FTR, and they're building to Wembley, and there was always something that kept me around, and I think you just come to accept that that's always going to be the case. But is it good enough? Is what you're watching doing enough for you? And for the vast majority of 2023, no, AEW didn't do enough for me. And there was many times where I was like, I think this is it. I remember saying as well, I think this is it. If this is not a great show, I think we're done. And then, of course, lo and behold, the show would be, good. And you'd be like, okay, well, actually, there might be something here. And then you carry on. So I kind of already mentally made the mind up that, like, 2023, I think that's it. New year, we'll do something else. And by sheer... coincidence, and it was nothing more than coincidence, no conversations were had, right? By sheer coincidence, Tommy said that he was interested in getting into TNA because he really likes the product, and he loves the community, he loves streaming wrestling escape pods, and is that something that I think would be worthwhile? And I was like, listen, if you want to do it, do it. I mean, we don't do it on this channel, but I know there's people that enjoy TNA, and they are about to do a big relaunch. So, they're a company that's trying to grow, trying to attract new people, new interest, They're a company that wants people to cover them and want people to acknowledge their existence. They want to grow. And, they're making some interesting moves. And I hear a lot of good stuff about Josh Alexander. I hear some good stuff about that speedball Mike Bailey. Obviously, I've heard lots of good stuff about Jordan Grace. There was rumours they were trying to sign Ospreay. They obviously picked up Trinity. I'd say that Impact and TNA are probably the most credible they've been in my eyes for a very, 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 very long time. Maybe ever. This might be like the most credible they've ever been. So he was like, what you think? And I was like, well, you know, if you want to do it, do it. I don't know if there'll be lots of people that join you. I don't know how much demand there is out there, but, you know. And then that's when it dawned on me. I was like, why don't you do AEW? I'm thinking of dropping it anyway. So if you want to do it, I'll just pass it over to you. And that's perfect because it gives a place for our community to still go to, you know? People that like sharing thoughts, seeing what other people are saying within this community, I would genuinely feel bad. I know there are other streams that people can go to, but this community en masse is not going to go en masse to another stream. Like you'll get a few people go here, a few people go there, a few people go there, a few people go there. It'll disperse, right? It'll disperse. Some people might just give up on AEW altogether. So the fact that we can keep the community together and, like, you know, here's a brand new stream, someone that I, you know, do podcasts with who loves this community and engages with this community on the Wrestling Escape Pods. No brainer in it. So we can stop. He can have it. I don't know what he's doing with TNA. I genuinely don't know. I think he did cover video package sort of best of episode the other day. So I don't know. I would imagine he's probably doing Hard to Kill. I don't know if he's got it set up or whatever. But yeah, man, love Tommy Toy Travels. I've said before, if it wasn't for him, I don't know that there would be a Wrestling Daze because he was doing figure reviews. He's got a very unique style, right? You have to kind of not take everything he says seriously because he's very tongue-in-cheek. He's someone a bit like me, I suppose, that we have good conversations about wrestling, but we like to have a laugh as well. And he is someone that constantly is trying to find the humor in stuff as well. And so he will just say stuff to get a reaction. He will just say stuff because he thinks that someone will find it funny, or he finds it funny. And so I think that that might be a bit of a challenge for him, to be honest, to try and find that balance, you know, because I do think there'll be times where people want to have serious conversation. And I think, you know, that's a hard balance to find. Even I don't know that I've found it, you know, to be able to have moments where you can engage in the humor and have a bit of a laugh. But then there's going to be moments where people want serious wrestling conversation. And so how do you kind of go between the two? That is a little tricky. And it might just take him a little while to find that, or maybe he's found it, you know? I really like him a lot. Obviously, I've been doing podcasts with him for, I don't know, about 3 years or so now, Wrestling Escape Pods. So I wish him all the best, and I'm really pleased there's a place for the community to go to still. And I don't have any ill will towards AEW. I'm not a fan of Tony Khan, right? I think Tony Khan is probably the biggest problem with AEW. But actual AEW themselves, you know, there's a lot of wrestlers there that I think deserve to be in a promotion, like Swerve. You know, he left WWE, but he deserves to be in a decent-sized promotion. And, you know, Andrade, Miro, you know, Malachi Black, you know, Jamie Hayter, Timeless Tony Storm. Like, there's some good stuff there. FTR, MJF, Britt Baker. There's some good stuff in AEW. It's just, there's some bad stuff. And the bad stuff gets a lot of exposure and a lot of press coverage. And then you've got Tony Khan being a goof on social media and coming out with goof comments about Cage Match and whatever. And I just think it gives AEW a really bad look. Maybe a bit of a bad taste in your mouth as well, you know? And then there is tribalism. Of course there is. Because you've got, like, you know, Tony Khan doing Tony Khan things. And USA Network doing USA Network things. Let's not, you know, forget that. And And, you know, it's built up this tribalism and blah, 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 blah. You know the story. So I genuinely don't wish them any bad ill will. I don't wish them to go out of business. I think that there's a need for a promotion of that size. I think you could make the argument that it's kept WWE on their toes. You could make the argument that the WWE product we are enjoying now may not have been possible if it wasn't for AEW. You could really, really make that argument. Might not be an argument that WWE hardcore fans want to hear, but we know that WCW brought out the best in WWE and the whole Attitude Era. And I'm not saying this is the Attitude Era, but competition does make everyone step up their game, you know? Does make everyone, like, you know, puts a bit more emphasis, a bit more focus into everyone's mind. All of a sudden, there's an enemy that you're all focused on trying to take down. You're all battling against. It's you and you against them, you know? And I think it can make people raise their game. So I think that what WWE are doing at the moment is really good stuff, really enjoying it. And yeah, of course, Vince going was the big factor and Triple H taking over. But I do wonder, I definitely think that AEW have played a part in WWE raising that standard. So, no, honestly, I wish them all the best. And I hope that people continue to enjoy the streams over on... even if you don't watch Triple T's one, wherever you go, I hope you continue to enjoy the product. Will you never do AEW again, said Philip. No, probably not, to be honest, because I wouldn't want to step on Tommy's toes. So even if the product got really good now, I wouldn't want to step on his toes. You know, I kind of feel like he has been really... he loves streaming, he loves the community, and he has not said like, oh, I'd love to do Raw, I'd love to do SmackDown or something like that. He could have said that, but he's not said that. He wants to find, I suppose, his place, like find a way of fitting in, if you will, and I really want to support that. So obviously we do NXT, we do all the WWE stuff. So you have AEW, you have MLW, you have New Japan, you have, you know, you have everything that's not WWE, basically. So, no, even if it's red hot, I mean, it won't stop me doing videos on stuff. I'll still do videos, I'll still do theories if something's red hot, you know, like who's the devil kind of a situation. We could definitely do videos on that, and we can definitely still talk about it on the streams, on these streams. Actually going back and doing like those kind of streams, nah, that's Tommy's now. That's Tommy's now. Carmen said, do you remember when I blew your mind about Gary Indiana doing an NXT stream from April 11th, 2023? I give NXT tonight an 8 out of 10. Carmen live, no, I don't. I have no idea what you're on about, but thank you for your score of giving it 8 out of 10. A. Jobson said, I have stayed there 1,000,000 times. Where have you stayed 1,000,000 times? Daze is giving AEW no second chances, says Big Time. Oh, I can't. Oh, I've given them second chances, to be honest. I gave him second chances because, you know, there was times where I was like, nah, I'm done. And then I was like, okay, well, let's see how this week goes. And I did that a few times last year. So I feel like for the longest time, they were already in Last Chance Saloon. And then, you know, I think I've made that decision where I was willing to just walk away from it regardless of what Tommy was doing. But now that Tommy has took it, I ain't no way am I stepping on his toes with that. That's his now. He can flesh that out and make that his own. So I wish him all the best. Wrestler Andy said, do you think WWE will ever run a show every night of the week? Oh, let's go. Do you know what? If they do NXT Europe, I'm here for it. I have got a little window in my calendar now. And I am definitely here for that. So, do you know, yes is my answer. Because I think, why can't we have an NXT Japan? And why can't we have an NXT Europe? And why can't we have NXT... These were the plans. These were the plans. So you do Raw on one day, NXT on another day, you do SmackDown on another day. We've got to fit in. If we're going to do NXT Europe and whatever, we've got to fit them in. So, yeah, I actually think that there is an opportunity and a chance that that could happen. And who knows, man, if they do that, there might be some other streamers that have to make some difficult decisions. If they then have to decide, well, do I stick with AEW or am I going to do this new NXT Europe, or shall I watch both at the same time? I ain't got that drama. I've got a couple of days free in my window right now where bring it on. Bring it on. I will quite happily. Because I really hope that he builds up his own... I think it is this cable. This cable at the bottom is so loose. You can easily just... I've got loose cable syndrome. This cable, I think, has got quite loose now. So I'm going to have to... I wonder if there's a way of securing it better. I'll have to look into that. I think it's a couple of times it's happened on this stream. So, yeah, anyway, I was saying, yeah, I don't know when it cut off, but NXT Europe, NXT Japan, could we get a WWE show every night of the week? Yes. Would I do it? Yes. And as I said, there might be some streamers that have to make a bit of a difficult decision, that have to like weigh up, oh, do I do it? Do I not do it? We don't have to worry about that. We're free. You know, get more WWE product, the better. I'm like Pac-Man. I'll eat it all up. So definitely down for NXT Japan. Definitely down for NXT Europe. I'm even keeping half an eye on that WWE Speed show, you know? But I heard that that's going to be like a social media thing. I don't think that's going to be a big deal. This WWE Speed where the matches are 5 minutes. And if you win, you get a point. If you lose a point. If it's a draw, there's no points. And there's like a roster. And it's like Axiom and people like this, Nathan Frazer and High Flyers, and it's all, I suppose, a bit of a cruiserweight type thing. I think it's meant to be like an exciting, fast-paced 205 live that's going to be online. I would definitely look at doing that, but I don't know if it's going to go online and it's just going to be a bit of a show, you know, like main event type thing. We don't do main event. We don't do NXT Level Up. Part of the reason, actually, is NXT Level Up, I think, is on straight after SmackDown. Am I right? Straight after SmackDown, or maybe just the hour before. So if we did it, it would interrupt the hour before conversation that we have, and I think people really enjoy that and enjoy it more than let's watch NXT Level Up that I don't think people would really care about. But yeah, I'm definitely down for more WWE product. Bembo said, you missed my super chat. I will get to it in a second, my friend. I just want to get this score. Okay, good for our main events. I need to add all these now. I'm going to do it now. Because if I don't do it, like, once this stream ends, it's just be another job, wouldn't it? I've already got to do the unseen stuff tomorrow. And then the Cody thing the next day. And then, before you know it, we're back round to... and we've got UFC this weekend, so I've got to do that as well. Never rains, eh? Random question. Are you going to do the Olympics, said Philip? I don't think so. I said before, like, I think doing the Olympics was really fun, but I don't think it's really necessarily good for the channel. And, like, when we did, like, football and all that, like, anything that's not wrestling is kind of taking us away from... Because not everyone in the community is going to care about the Olympics. Not everyone in the community is going to care about the Premier League. And so... But everyone in the community cares about wrestling. That's why they're here. So it's probably not wise to continue doing things that are going to alienate part of the community. Like, really, we should be having wrestling conversations and coming up with wrestling content, because anything that's like Olympics, Winter Olympics, football tournaments, Premier League, you know, Super Bowl's different because that's one day, innit? Super Bowl's one game, which you can just chuck on a second channel or whatever. Like, that's, you know, maybe we'll do a Super Bowl. It's one day. But, like, Olympics is not one day. And football tournaments, they're not one day. So these kind of things, I think we've done them in the past. We've had a great time with them, but I don't know that they are beneficial to the channel. People love them, and I really love the fact people love them. You know, and I'm sure there'll be a bit of disappointment, but got to think about what's right for the channel. Because no one would want us to, like, you know, for the channel to, I don't know, decrease in viewership and struggle, and then, like, you know, got to make a tough decision as to whether this is sustainable or not. I don't think anyone's going to want that. So, got to make sure that we're putting the community first, putting wrestling first, catering to, you know, as many people as we can. I think a lot of them people that were watching the Olympics, whatever, they are not people that were part of our community. They were people that just stopped by and were engaged in the Olympics. I mean, it's a great way of finding new people, you know? You can find some people that are also wrestling fans, but I don't know. It's probably better that we cater to the wrestling fandom that we all share. Bembo said, wouldn't SmackDown be on the same day, technically at 1 a.m, and then the chamber starts at 9:30 later? Yeah, could be that. So it could be that... Well, I don't know. I don't know if it would be at 9:30 on Saturday morning, or if it would be on Sunday morning. Could be Saturday morning, because they are ahead, aren't they? So in Australia, they are ahead. So 9:30 start time on Saturday probably sounds about right. So, I mean, they will certainly tape that show, I would imagine. They won't. I don't think they would air SmackDown live from Australia unless they've announced that they are. I would imagine that they'll probably tape SmackDown, air it at its normal time, and then, yeah, it could be a few hours later. Which works really well, actually, because I said that I'd probably get up about midnight and then, like, just go through. So if we start our SmackDown stream at 11, I'll just get up half an hour before the stream. I'll have the stream set up. I'll get up 10:30, do the SmackDown stream. We could probably keep that stream going a little bit longer than usual. I could probably work on an unseen video, maybe. And then it'll be time to start the Elimination Chamber. So, you know, you lot make big dramas out of nothing. drama out enough. Just get on with it. Just get on with it. Just watch wrestling. Jesus. Oh, I've got to watch it at 1 in the morning. Yeah, watch it at 1 in the morning. Jeez. Oh, but isn't SmackDown? Yeah, SmackDown's going to be on. Do you know what? And if they're on at the same time, just buy another TV. Yeah, and have SmackDown there, have Elimination Chamber here, right? Just make it work. You'll find a way of making it work. There's no such thing as too much wrestling. So, yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. It'll probably be SmackDown, and then we go into Elimination Chamber afterwards. Just an idea. You could start a second channel for those events, said Eric. Yes, but the problem is it takes me away from it. So I did that. I did a second channel for the Premier League, and I put like Super Bowl over there. I think we did like a Cricket World Cup final over there, and so I was using my second channel for that. But the problem is the time that I'm spending researching, creating graphics, actually streaming those things as well. That is all time that I'm being took away from wrestling. So I sort of feel like when we were doing the Premier League stuff, I had time to do SmackDown streams and Raw streams and pay-per-view streams and whatever. We never sacrificed any of that. But I was not getting any other content onto the channel whatsoever. It was literally just streams, and that was it. That was it. And I kind of feel like that's not really brilliant if you want to kind of grow the community and you want to reach more people, because you really are just hoping people take a chance on joining the watch along and then enjoying it when they're here. So, like, that's a bit tricky, to be honest. You kind of do need videos because they tend to reach people, and then people are like, oh, I know that guy, I saw his video, and then they might want to check out the watch along. So they're, you know, it kind of works that way. So doing all that type of content on a separate channel and me being like away from the wrestling conversations, yeah, it's not good, to be honest. It's not good. And it is a shame, because I just think people really enjoy those streams. I enjoy them. I love the Olympic streams. Had a great time. They were long, but we had a good laugh, and we had a good, like, watching different sports. We did Winter Olympics, we did Summer Olympics, we did 12-hour streams, like, each day, as we were just watching all these different sporting events. And we were like, right, the swimming's about to start. Who's in that? Oh, such and such is in that. Let's go. I love the Olympics. I'm an Olympic stan. I went to the Olympics in 2012. Had a great time. So I really do enjoy the Olympics. And I've got to say, one of my favorite, the last Olympics in Tokyo 2020, which was held in 2021, those were brilliant, because I got to watch so much of it and get to live. I mean, some of the stories that come out of the Olympics, you know, people that have to like really dig deep and whatever, you know, and or people that like fall short, and like, just some of the stories are absolutely fantastic. And there's nothing quite like it, is there, for that like 3-4 week period. So I loved. No one loved those Olympic streams more than me, and I will definitely miss doing them, but right now it just doesn't feel like the right thing to do. I do wonder what's up with Elia. There's no word on him, and Trick is now in the Dusty Classic, says a Jobson. Dro said, what are your thoughts on NXT Zoom Station? Did you see it? So Dro, I think, is asking Zoom Station. Andy said, I really enjoyed the World Cups watch-alongs, though. Yeah, they were good as well. I did as well. I love it. I love sport. I mean, as I said the other day, I was watching the darts with that 16-year-old that was in that, and I was like, you know, I was into that. I mean, I really was enjoying it. I did think to myself, this isn't better than wrestling, but I really was enjoying it. And I love cricket. I love watching England play cricket. So, I will definitely try and watch. I went to watch some cricket last year, and I'll definitely go again this year. And I will always watch England play Test cricket on TV. I absolutely love that. Olympics, I love. Boxing, I love. UFC, I love. I've always enjoyed Super Bowl whenever I've watched it. Rugby World Cup, I've watched that. I even watched the flipping netball final between England and Australia because England were in the final, and that was enough for me to go, do you know what? I'll give this a go. So I just love sport. I'm a real sport person. I really do enjoy sport, but I don't get a chance to really watch loads of sport because of the amount of work that we do on the channel, you know. But that's not boo-hoo, woe is me. That is just life, and everyone kind of goes through that, you know. We have work, we have other commitments, things that we have to do. We don't get a chance to watch everything we would like to watch. I suppose I just feel blessed that I got to have that Olympic moment, those Olympic streams back in 2021, and they were so well received. Even YouTube took a clip from them and used them in some advert, which I didn't even know about. I can't even remember if they asked permission, but people said that they were seeing me on like an official YouTube advert, and it was a clip that had been took from the Olympic streams, and it was basically, you know, here on YouTube you can do anything, and they were showing lots of different things, and they showed you can do streams for the Olympics. You know, and so they showed just a clip of me. I can't even remember what it was, to be honest. I should have recorded it and saved it, but I didn't, because I'm not a mark for myself. But yeah, they were great. I will definitely miss not doing them. So as of right now, no. But as we get closer, I know that my heart will be like, oh no, should we just do them anyway? Eric Bischoff just said something to Tony 3 minutes ago, said Johnny. Can you check it out? Yes. We'll stick around 7 minutes. We're not doing the unseen tonight anyway, so. Oba Femi picks up the win. That is the news. But we're going to have a look at, see what Eric Bischoff came back with. I don't know why I've got him doing this. Look at this. I've got him doing the Prince Nana dance for some reason. Where is Eric Bischoff? Did I spell it wrong? Where is Eric Bischoff? Where are you? Could you imagine if it turned out he's blocked me or something? No results for Eric Bischoff. Oh, I have spelt it wrong, haven't I? I have spelt it wrong. Eric. If I put Eric in, will that do it? Eric Bish. There we go. I swear I spelt it right. Okay. Whatevs. Is it this one? Tony Khan. A thought on tonight's war. Bittersweet end. In words that echo from a bard long friend. When swords... Oh, God, what? I mean, straight away, it's too wordy. When swords are sheathed and battles cease to be, a bittersweet taste lingers for all to see. Good night. What? Jesus. Couldn't he have just called him a douche? What's this? Flipping Shakespeare or something. Yeah, I don't know. I think that strikes me as an L. Did he say anything else? There's lots of things. Notice Tony keeps neglecting to mention the guy he's harping about is a former WWE champion. Huh? Okay. I don't know. I don't think that was a very good response by him, to be honest. Bischoff killed AWA, WCW, and almost TNA, said Zoom Station. He also helped Raw out this Monday. Bischoff is a clown, said A. Jobson. You can't stream New Japan. They will go after you with the fury of 1,000 suns. I like that. That's true. You can't do New Japan. Oh, man, they don't like it. They don't like it at all. The fury of 1,000 suns. That's good. Just Me said, I enjoyed Raw last night. Eric said, can we do Rumble surprise entry predictions? Yes. Yes, we can. We can do more of that stuff now that we don't do AEW. So my plan is tomorrow I'll do Unseen for NXT. There's no point doing it tonight because it's already coming up to 11 o'clock. And to be honest, everyone's just talking about Eric Bischoff and we've done the video on that. So we'll let that play out. We'll do Unseen tomorrow. And then I'll probably do research for the weekend. And then and Wrestling Escape Pod tomorrow. And then on Thursday, I will do the Cody stuff about how to get to WrestleMania. And we'll look at some other theories on that and throw that around. But yeah, we've got a bit more scope now to do that kind of stuff. And the LOL videos are just going to have to go on hold temporarily. Do you know 2 of those videos got blocked by WWE? I don't think it was them. I think it was like an automated thing. But like 2 of the recent videos got blocked. And I was like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like doing this work and then having the videos get blocked. So that is definitely something that I'm not keen on. So I need to have a look at those and make sure that any that we do going forward are not going to get blocked. There was no copyright strikes or anything, so that's good. It just literally, they just blocked the videos. That's not good. But Bischoff and Cornette both used the same ass hat, said James. When ECW went under, I was sad and done, said Intoxicated Drums. Jim said, killed AWA. Bischoff wasn't even around with AWA when it went under. It was Vern Gagne's fault for AWA closing. Callum said, member stream. Oh, God, yeah, you're right. We need that on Thursday as well. See, everyone thinks I just have 2 days off now. No. Yes, you're right, members, absolutely. Because we got to do the vote for the Hall of Fame thing as well, haven't we, Callum? Yes. Yes. Right, I think we'll wrap it up there. We said we would go till we got to 11 o'clock Eastern, and that is where we are. A big thank you to everyone that's joined us. NXT I thought was okay. Obviously, the Obafemi thing was the big talking point, but the real talking point tonight was Tony Khan. Enjoy AEW if you watch it tomorrow. We will do the Wrestling Escape Pod. There will be an Unseen video that drops onto the channel. And obviously, as we just said, member stream on Thursday and another video. And then, of course, we're back streaming for SmackDown. So if you just cannot bear a day without me, if it is just too much to cope with, then join us tomorrow for the Wrestling Escape Pods, where I will be live streaming with Tommy Toy Travels. That will be 6 Eastern over on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel. So you can join us over there for that. So thanks a lot for joining us. Have a great evening wherever you are. I need to put all this information into that match thing now as well, so I'm going to go and do that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.